I think, it's not just this game. This game will hit them really hard, especially when they get up tomorrow morning. They'll think that we were in control of the game. It looked like we'd done everything right. It was a tight game against a good team in Fulham, but we got the 3 points. They didn't even get a point. I mean, they couldn't have envisaged that with 10 minutes to go. And it's on the back of a 0-0 at Everton when they felt that again, it's a game that they would have been expected to win. So, yeah, questions to be asked here. The coach, Maresca, was saying that we aren't title contenders. He wouldn't have believed it. I'm sure he thinks that they have got enough to be title contenders. But the last 2 performances, and the points tally of 1 from 6, is not good going into them games.
Yeah, that lack of goals for Chelsea showing up again. Anyway, it's time now to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Well, obviously a great game and loads of great performances there. Who are you going to go for, Alvin?
Well, there were lots of, on the Chelsea side and the Fulham side, really good individual performances. But look, with somebody leading, and down the left-hand side, they were so good, Fulham. All their good stuff happened down this left-hand side. It was no surprise that in the end that was where they got the 2 goals from. But Wolverhampton, for me, was outstanding today. It's the best game I've seen him play in a Fulham shirt, and outstanding all the way through. So for me, there were other contenders, but Alex Wolverhampton was head and shoulders.
Very well deserved. That was our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
Well, great work today from Alvin and Alex. Alvin, my last question to you. We know what Todd Bowley's like. We know what the owners of Chelsea are like. This result now, is this going to tempt them to maybe get that checkbook out again in January and find a solution to the goal-scoring slight issues that they have going on at the moment in the last few games?
Yeah, well, I think they've got so much in terms of supply, John, that they'll know that really a team like Chelsea, who need to be challenging for a Premier League title, need somebody who's going to get 20 goals up front. Yeah. They need a prolific goal scorer. Jackson was quiet today. He showed signs of maybe he was the right one, but look, you don't get long. You need to produce and stay scoring goals. A goal drought for a top-class centre-forward these days is 3 games, no more. And I think, they need to get that sorted out. So Jackson's position certainly will come into that area where, do we need to go and spend 100 million? Look, I don't think they'll be afraid to. It's whether they can afford to spend 100 million and stay inside the rules, the financial fair play rules. Yeah. That's the big question.
For sure. Well, look, as long as they keep their hands off Chris Wood, I'm happy. But this could be a good opportunity for Christopher and Nkunku maybe to step up. We'll see what Enzo Maresca does in their next game against Ipswich on Monday. Alvin, Alex, thank you very much. A fascinating and exciting game. Just what you want on Boxing Day here on TalkSport 2. The first of 3 exclusive commentaries here this afternoon. Some of the other results in the Premier League earlier, Manchester City drew 1-1 with Everton. It was goalless between Bournemouth and Crystal Palace. Newcastle United beat Aston Villa 3-0 and Nottingham Forest went up to 3rd, 1 point behind Chelsea with a 1-0 win over Spurs. More misery for Ange Postecoglou, and it's currently Southampton 0, West Ham 1. Jared Bowen scoring the goal for West Ham there. That one in the 97th minute now, so that should be finished any time soon. Manchester United are away at Wolves coming up from 5:30 on TalkSport, over on TalkSport. And here on TalkSport 2, our second exclusive commentary with Derby County taking on managerless West Brom next.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels, 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug. Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
The Screwfix sale is now on, and it's big! Save a big £15 on the Gold Screw Trade Pack, now only $19.99. And grab the Stanley Organizer for just $9.99, saving you a big £10. Hurry, the sale must end on the 5th of January. It's big. Delivery fees may apply, subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
Football is back, and it's game on! Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals! With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals! And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals! Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
Hey, is your Aunt June still coming to Christmas dinner?
Yep, and her new boyfriend.
I'll get the extra chair.
And his daughter.
Oh, and some plates.
Plus her boyfriend.
Ah.
And his two mates, their girlfriends, their neighbours, their second cousins, twin sisters, the mailman, Glenn from down the road, his primary school teacher, my personal trainer, his dog, his accountant Bill, and that lady I met on the bus.
We're going to need to go to IKEA.
From extra plates to bedding and everything in between. Get guests ready.
Oh, and Grandma's staying over.
IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
$1.39 at McDonald's gets you a delicious cheeseburger. $1.39 at a concert gets you... Test. McDonald's Saver Menu. Actually get your money's worth. From 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Price varies on delivery, subject to availability.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. 18 plus, stream our internet, terms apply.
Live football coverage that's beyond compare.
The angle tight, he shoots! It's in again!
No one does football quite like this.
He hits it first time, what a volley, what a goal!
EFL Live, Boxing Day special on TalkSport 2.
Well, Valencia have been the Grinch for West Brom this Christmas. They didn't steal their presents, but they took Carlos Corberán from their dugout before the turkey was even in the oven. Can Chris Brunt and Boaz Myhill save the day, or will Derby County feast on the leftovers? Derby County versus West Bromwich Albion is live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2.
Bauer to get into the near post, flicked on and flicked in this time, and West Bromwich Albion take the lead.
There's a lot of things I like about Boxing Day, obviously. Most people turn up with a new scarf or hat or jacket.
Header, goal, terrific header, and it's Curtis Nelson who announces himself and Derby County back in the Championship.
There's a real energy within a crowd Boxing Day because they've been sitting with their in-laws and think, oh, I'll just get to the game tomorrow and I'll start singing Derby songs. So that's amazing.
Carlan Grant, 30 yards out, tries to drive and scores a beauty. What a hit from Carlan Grant.
Always going to be a top 8 team, I think, and have been very difficult to beat. So look, they haven't probably won as many games as they would want. No one wants to draw that many games, but they haven't lost.
And put in by Adams for 3. What a start this is for Derby County.
I've never ever had a late kickoff, I don't think. That is pretty unique. So that's going to mess up my whole cold turkey mustard sandwiches at night. I don't know how I'm going to get around that.
We head to the Championship next for this first of 2 exclusive commentaries here on TalkSport 2. It's Derby County versus West Bromwich Albion, and with the team news, it's your commentator Ian Danter.
Thank you, John. Well, for Derby County, let's start with them. A couple of changes after that dramatic late defeat at Luton Town, where they led right up to the 90th minute before the Hatters got 2 goals in quick succession to snatch all 3 points. The 2 players dropped to Sonny Bradley and Simon Osborne. Coming in, Marcus Harness and Nathaniel Mendes-Lang. So Derby going to revert to a back 4. Might be a 4-3-3, 4-4-2. We'll have to wait and see. But here's your 11. Jacob Zetterstrom is the goalkeeper. Kane Wilson, Nat Phillips, Curtis Nelson and Callum Elder in a back 4. Then if it is a 4 in midfield, Nathaniel Mendes-Lang and Marcus Harness wide, Ibu Adamson, Kenzo Hoodmine in the middle, Caden Jackson and Jerry Yates are the strikers. On the bench for the Rams, Vickers is the sub-keeper, along with Forsyth, Bradley, Barkhausen, Collins, Ward, Blackett-Taylor, Chirewa and Brown. Chris Brunt is picking the West Bromwich Albion team today after Carlos Corberán's shock departure, but his side shows only one change from the team that beat Bristol City 2-0 at the Hawthorns last time out. Buros Racic is preferred to Jason Malumbi in midfield, so it looks as though West Brom are sticking with the same 4-2-3-1 format that Corberán favoured during his 2 years plus with the club. Alex Palmer, the goalkeeper, Darnell Furlong, Mason Holgate, Kyle Bartley and Torborn Hegem are the back four. Buros Racic and Alex Mowat holding midfield, and then Tom Fellows, John Swift and Mikey Johnson, who ended his goal drought against Bristol City, in behind Josh Madger in attack. The Baggies bench, Wildsmith is the sub-goalkeeper, along with Stiles, Wallace, Malumbi, Diangana, Diakite, Grant, Frabotta and Cole.
Thank you very much, Dan. So obviously West Ham announced yesterday Carlos Corberán has agreed in principle to leave the club and join Valencia. Alongside Ian Dancer for commentary today, former Leeds boss Neil Redfern, and that's a huge blow to the Baggies, especially when you've got so many games coming up over this festive period. It's a real disruption for them.
Yeah, evening, John. It is, because he's done exceptionally well at West Bromwich Albion. You know, he's created an identity for the club, and obviously they've been going well, and you know they're in and around them playoff spots. So you know it's a real backward step for him.
When you've got a kind of group of more senior, senior coaching staff, they're kind of fairly new to coaching, but they've played long into their careers with the likes of Chris Brunt and Boaz Myhill. You do have people that have been around that club for a while there, so that is kind of reassuring, isn't it? It's kind of players that know how things work, and in the short term you would like to think that they can hold things together, that the disruption will be minimised as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I think what it will do, it'll help the transition. There's no two ways about it. And there's enough in this West Bromwich Albion side to.
Delivery fees may apply, subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
Hey, is your Aunt June still coming to Christmas dinner?
Yep, and her new boyfriend.
I'll get the extra chair.
And his daughter.
Oh, and some plates.
Plus her boyfriend. And his two mates, their girlfriends, their neighbours, their second cousins, twin sisters, the mailman, Glenn from down the road, his primary school teacher, my personal trainer, his dog, his accountant Bill, and that lady I met on the bus.
We're going to need to go to IKEA.
From extra plates to bedding and everything in between. Get guests ready.
Oh, and Grandma's staying over.
IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Football is back, and it's game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
Game Day Live on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Get the festive action. Available with no contract on now. 18 plus, through our internet, terms apply.
game day.
Big ticket Premier League football you can't afford to miss.
And it's in!
The biggest and best football on the radio.
Game day exclusive. Boxing Day special.
On Talk Sport.
Just really, and scores for Wolves. What an individual effort from Bertius Cunha.
It's the best league. This is a challenge, big challenge.
It's Leicester 0, Wolves 3. What a first 45 minutes for the new boss, Vitor Pereira.
The fire inside of me to come. Now I have the opportunity. I'm ready to face the Premier League.
For the second time in a week, Manchester United are 3-0 down.
It's Manchester United 0, Bournemouth 3, and this is a capitulation from the home side.
It's a big challenge. It's really hard for our fans. I know that. We have to improve.
He signalled what was going to happen. He said we're going to suffer and people are going to have to bear with it.
I would have thought I would have seen more.
It's Christmas carnage for Ruben Amorim, who's got questions to ask.
We have here a new challenge. It's a tough one. For me, it's the biggest challenge in football.
Game Day Live then continues this evening as we take you to Molineux for another feast of Boxing Day action as Wolves take on Manchester United. It is a 5:30 kickoff for this one, so the team news well in ahead of time for this one. And let's bring you up to speed with it with our match commentator, Joe Shannon. Good evening, Joe.
Good evening, Latley. Season's greetings from a foggy Molineux. The fog has thankfully started to lift during the warm-ups. Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League relegation zone, though Vitor Pereira, the head coach, has already had an immediate impact. That 3-0 win at Leicester, just their third Premier League victory of the season so far. For his first home game, he's brought Ryan Aït-Nouri back after a ban in place of Rodrigo Gomez. That's the only change. Matheus Cunha is still available, so he starts, as you'd expect. Jose Sarr in goal, Doherty, Santi Bueno and Totti at the back. Semedo, Andre, João Gomez and Aït-Nouri across the middle. Gonzalo Guedes and Cunha either side of Jorgen Strand Larsen up front. Marcus Rashford is again left out of the Manchester United squad for the fourth successive game, and that will only deepen persistent rumours that he's going to leave the club. Of course, he has spoken recently about expressing a desire for a new challenge. Euro and Højlund are the two to come in after the heavy defeat by Bournemouth just prior to Christmas. Euro making just his second Premier League start. Malacia not in the squad, and Zirkzee drops to the bench. It's Onana in goal, Euro, Maguire and Lisandro Martinez at the back. Dalot and Mazraoui the wing-backs. Mainoo and Ugarte in midfield. Ahmad, Bruno Fernandes and Højlund are the front three.
We had to have the grand finale there. Joe, for now, thank you very much. Joining you on commentary duty, of course, is the former Chelsea defender Scott Minto.
He timed that perfectly now. Joe Shannon and Elvis in the same sentence.
I enjoyed that, didn't I?
Yeah, I can imagine Joe timed that to perfection. But Scott, good evening to you. Let's get your thoughts very quickly on this game then. Both coming into this one off the back of respective 3-0 results, a win for Leicester, a defeat for Wolves, and a defeat for Manchester United. In terms of Wolves, a win today will move them out of the bottom three, something that they've not been accustomed to really this season. It's been such a struggle for them. How much confidence will a 3-0 win over Leicester give them coming into this one?
Massive, absolutely massive loads of confidence, that, Nat. I mean, if they'd have lost that game, they'd have been 7 points off Crystal Palace, and suddenly you're looking at 3, 4, maybe even 5 games where you've got to try and turn it around. And now, you know, as you say, that carrot would be absolutely fantastic for them to try and get out the drop zone, and up against, one, their relegation rivals, but also two, to have had the game done and dusted by half-time. I don't think anyone would have believed, especially Vitor Pereira, that it would actually start like that. But this is such a difficult game to call, Nat, because you talk about United, and they are Manchester United, but they're a million miles away from where they need to be. It hasn't been the perfect start for Ruben Amorim. Wolves now, suddenly everything coming into this game is positive. It is such a difficult game to call.
Well, we'll have more from you, Scott, and from Joe, of course, throughout. But for now, let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free bet on multiples or bet builders this Boxing Day. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds and T's and C's apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
So let's talk Wolves against Manchester United then. Sam Rosbottom joins us this evening. Evening to you, Sam.
Good evening, Natalie. Looking forward to this one. I mean, it's going to, like you just mentioned, this could be a huge game for Wolves to follow up that great win last weekend. United looking to bounce back from disappointment as well. Like Scott said, you know, he wasn't too sure, was he? But the market over on Betfair, they're pretty certain, to be honest with you. Manchester United, the firm favourites in this one. They've got a great record against Wolves. They've won 7 of their last 8 league games. They are the favourites, and they're odds on at 8 to 11 in the match odds 90 markets. Wolves, they've lost their last 4 league games against United, but as you and Scott touched on, they can move out of the bottom 3 with a win today. They're 11 to 4 to get all 3 points. The draw in this one is 2 to 1. Looking at the lineups and who is standing out for me, Mateus Cunha, he's scored in each of his last 2 matches. For him to make it 3 in 3, he's 17 to 2 to score first, or 11 to 4 to score any time. And another one, Amad Diallo for United. He's been involved in 10 goals in his last 11 appearances in all competitions. For him to score or assist, United to win, and both teams to score, is just a bit bigger than 100 to 30 when you combine all 3 selections in a bet builder. Should be a Christmas cracker.
Love it. Thank you very much, Sam. That was all thanks to Betfair. It's 18 and over. BeGambleAware.org.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free bet on multiples or bet builders this Boxing Day. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds and T's and C's apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
OK, so we'll be concentrating on Wolves Manchester United in just a moment, but some full-time scores that we didn't have time to bring you just before to take you to the Welsh Premier League. Barry Town 1, Pennymont 2, Cardiff 1, Britain Ferry 3, Aberystwyth Town 0, Bala Town 0, Carnarvon Town 2, the New Saints 5, Coddens Quay 7, Flint Town United 2, Newtown 0, Haverford West County 2. And in the Irish Premiership, it's Coleraine 2, Ballymena United 2, Crusaders 2, Cliftonville 0, Dungannon Swiss 2, Lochal 1, Glenarvan 2, Portadown 0, Glentoran 0, Linfield 0, and Larne 0, Carrick Rangers 0. So the Boxing Day fixtures keep coming your way here on TalkSport. And earlier on we brought you Nottingham Forest against Tottenham, and Forest were the winners in that one as an Anthony Elanga goal was the difference between the two sides. Ange Postecoglou, the Tottenham manager, very much under fire. He's been giving his post-match reaction to Adam Bridge.
Ange, thanks for joining us on TalkSport so soon after the game. It's a difficult one to start. You had lots of possession, you had more shots on target than them, but did you ever feel like that goal was coming?
Oh, look, it was always going to be a tight game, you know, the way sort of Forest set up, and you're never going to get too many clear-cut chances. I thought we had enough to, you know, to get into the game. You know, they kind of scored on a counter, which then kind of gets them to defend even deeper. So, you know, you're not going to create too many clear-cut ones, but I thought we had enough to get something out of the game, but ultimately we couldn't.
Yeah, it's another frustrating afternoon for you. It's obviously the first time in 16 years that Spurs have been in the bottom half at Christmas. With what you've got, everyone's talked about all the injury concerns. Obviously, we saw Dragusin go off today, the red card for Spence. It almost feels like everything's just mounting against you defensively at the moment.
No, it is what it is. You just got to deal with it, no choice. You know, we're... players are given everything, and that's all I can ask for as a manager. And you know, we've got to just keep focusing on the job at hand, and we've got a big game Sunday, and focus on that now.
Ange Postecoglou then giving his reaction to that defeat at Nottingham Forest. And Scott Minto, I know you're going to concentrate on Wolves Manchester United, but we've got to get your thoughts on the situation at Spurs and of Ange Postecoglou. If you look at the stats, they dominated possession 70% to the 30 of Forest, and in terms of total passes, 606 to 254. All the stats point positively, apart from goals scored. And where they find themselves in the table are 11th right now. How under fire is Ange Postecoglou?
Well, look, I think first and foremost, Nat, and Postecoglou should be given to the end of the season. He's talked about how good he can be in a second season, and they're still in all the cups. Listen, they're not going to finish top 4, they're not. And you read out those stats to me. I could have told you those stats would have been exactly that before the game, because it's not just how Spurs play, but it's also how Forest play, even at home. Obviously, what we didn't know would be the final scoreline, but I actually fancied Forest in this one. You know, I think psychologically at the moment, confidence is low at Spurs. Up against the Forest side, who are, I mean, they're just brilliant right now, isn't it? It's an amazing story what Nuno has done, and you know, can he get them into Europe, maybe even the Champions League come the end of the season? I personally don't think Champions League can be done, but the more they carry on results like this, then why not aim for Europe at some point? But no, for me, you know, let's give Ange the rest of the season and see how that pans out.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest up to 3rd. I suppose one of their issues might be goal scoring, because they've only scored 24 goals in their 18 games so far, which is below par for a lot of the teams who are in the race for Europe. And in fact, Scott, it's even lower than what Wolves have scored, which is 27 goals this season. That's one issue that Wolves don't have in attack. The problem is their defence, 40 goals conceded. Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy, isn't it, to see where Forest are and Wolves are, and Wolves have scored more goals. What I would say is Forest had a 3rd best defence in the Premier League, so they only need to win games like 1-0. Look, for Wolves, what I would say, and the stats say that they have the best over-performance on XG in the Premier League for scoring. So perhaps they're being extra clinical so far in terms of scoring goals, but actually they've got the worst underperformance on XG in the Premier League for conceding. That's 11.6. They've conceded 40, whereas the XG is 28.4. And whether you're really into the XG or not, and I think it gives you a pointer, but it doesn't tell me everything. But what it does tell me is that I genuinely think that Wolves can be tightened up at the back. So where I don't think they're going to be scoring as many goals going forward because they're overperforming, I do think they can tighten things up at the back. And we saw them in the warm-up. The whole 11 were practicing defending set pieces and crosses coming in. So it goes to show how important the emphasis already Pereira's putting on that.
Well, can Wolves continue their push for survival against a Manchester United side who are in the bottom half of the table at Christmas for the first time in their Premier League history? The teams are out. Kickoff is approaching. Scott Minto is alongside Joe Shannon, so let's hand you to your commentary team.
Natalie, thank you. Season's greetings, everyone. Doesn't this suddenly look like a very tricky game for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United? Vitor Pereira, another Portuguese head coach, finally has a Premier League job, something that he has coveted for so long, and Wolves made the perfect start under his tenure away at Leicester. Now he's here at Molineux for the very first time. In fact, he's just been announced to the crowd, with Wolves fans sensing the opportunity for more Christmas cheer and a victory that would lift them out of the Premier League relegation zone. This will not be straightforward, you feel, tonight for Manchester United. Lots of fog rolling in the Black Country. Very heavy at Molineux today. Thankfully, it seems to have largely dissipated in the half an hour or so leading up to kick-off, and the two teams are out on the field of play. Wolves in the old gold and black, and Manchester United in their change kit this evening, all white with black and red trim. Scott Minto, former Chelsea defender, alongside me in the commentary box. Scott, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Joe.
It's a fascinating game, this, isn't it? Because maybe a week or so ago, even with Manchester United's struggles, you'd have thought they should easily have enough to overcome Wolves, but how things can change in football so quickly.
Absolutely. Talk about the new manager bounce, and I think there's a lot of good examples, perhaps at Manchester United being one of them. That doesn't always happen. And look, we're only one game into Wolves' one, but what a game that was, to beat your relegation rivals. You know, I believe it's 3 from 4. In fact, I believe it's 2 from 3, because I think Southampton will be down. But you're right, at this moment in time, this is too close to call. I wouldn't want to put any money on it.
We are bringing you 10 live commentaries this Boxing Day on the TalkSport network. All of the festive football for you on one of the days in the calendar that as football fans we all look forward to most. Liverpool against Leicester to come. Liverpool with the chance to go 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. But first things first, Molineux. for Wolves against Manchester United, and we're off and underway on Talk Sport. Manchester United from left to right in the first half towards the Sir Jack Hayward end of the ground, that single-tiered stand packed with Wolves supporters behind the goal, and they've won it back with Mazraoui through to Højlund edge of the penalty area, back out wide to Nusez Mazraoui, who cuts it back all the way towards Bruno Fernandes at the back post. It was as though he wasn't expecting it to reach him, perhaps a little rusty in these very early stages, but there should have been a shot on there for Manchester United at the back post inside the first 25 seconds.
Absolutely great start from United, trying to be as positive as possible. Mazraoui playing in the right wing-back role, and he's played pretty much everywhere for United already, hasn't he, in this system so far, but getting forward, cutting the ball back, and it went in between Højlund and Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes being at the far post, not quite reacting quick enough, but still, amorim will be happy with that start.
Wolves in the old gold and black shorts, Manchester United in the change kit of all white. Wolves with Jose Sarr in goal, Doherty, Santi Bruno and Totti at the back, Nelson Semedo, Andre, João Gomez and Nate Nori back from suspension in midfield, Guedes and Cunha, the ever dangerous Cunha, either side of Strand. Up front, and no Marcus Rashford in the Manchester United squad once again tonight. Onana is the goalkeeper, the returning Euro, Maguire and Martinez in the back three, Dalot and Mazraoui in the wing. It feels like never. It's his floated ball downfield, which nearly ends up being diverted into the path of João Gomez, but Manchester United smuggle it away. Yes, he's still waiting, isn't he, for the result of that misconduct charge, Matheus Cunha, but he plays on today for Wolves as Ahmad shuffles down the right-hand side for Manchester United, blocked off assertively by Nate Nori, then Mazraoui throws himself in with a strong challenge. Andre gets the better of Ahmad, and the Brazilian plays it back to Totti, who clears upfield for Wolves. Quite a tenacious opening to the game from both teams live on Talk Sport. Wolves 0, Manchester United 0, and Wolves quite clearly enjoying that new manager bounce, Scott Minter.
Absolutely. I mean, this already in the first few minutes is a proper Christmas English game here, where both teams really going at it, full commitment, 100%. The other thing I was going to say is I do wonder whether Marcus Rashford has played his last game for Manchester United. I mean, obviously the January transfer window is just around the corner, but still, I think there's going to be a lot of negotiation that needs to be done if he is going to leave Manchester United. Well, salary, transfer, everything.
And the owners have left it in the hands of Ruben Amorim to sort out.
Have they? Have they? I do wonder. They've said they have. I do wonder whether he's had a tap on the shoulder and said, look, we want to get rid of him, that's it now. We're not happy what he's done coming out and speaking to TalkSport's own Henry Winter. I'd like to think they have left it to Amorim.
You cynic, Scott Minto. Wolves come forward at the far end of the field, but João Gomez is dispossessed. Højlund had lost his boot for a moment there, and he put it back on, and now he's racing down the middle. The flag is up right in front of us on this near side of the field. Wolves win possession back anyway. We are right behind the Wolves dugout here at Molineux today. Only 10-15 rows from the front, just to the right of the halfway line. Right behind the new man in charge at Molineux, Vitor Pereira. His first game in charge, the thumping victory at Leicester just before Christmas, and now he takes charge on this ground for the very first time. Tearing forward up the left infield is Cunha, tripped by Lenny Euro, and the referee is going to waste no time. Tony Harrington in producing the game's first yellow card, just 4 minutes in for the young central defender.
Well, it's not what you want early on in a game, especially as physical and fast and furious as this, to give away a yellow card so early on. But Matheus Cunha, I mean, that's what he does, doesn't he? He just holds up defenders and then he goes again, and he's past him, brought down. Maybe slightly harsh as a yellow card, but he did go past him and he did bring him down.
Derby 0, West Brom 0 in the Championship live right now over on TalkSport 2, especially at this time of the year. It's a really good idea to download our free app if you haven't done so, then you can be across all of the football. Floated in by Cunha from the Wolves free kick. Deep to Doherty at the back post. He'll try and clip it back across. That's turned away by Mazraoui in the left wing back position for Manchester United. Now Totti tries to drive the ball into the penalty area. That's smuggled away by Harry Maguire. Højlund holds it up well. And Kobbie Mainoo can stride forward on the counter-attack for Manchester United. He prods the ball way ahead of Højlund. That's a poor pass, and the ironic cheers from the home crowd at a packed Molineux will tell you that it's got out of play for a Wolves throw. It's chilly tonight, the fog's still rolling in. Wolves 0, Manchester United 0. Live on Talk Sport with Liverpool against Leicester to come at 8 o'clock. And here's Scott Minter.
Yeah, I think as much as we're saying it's a really physical game at the moment, both these teams seem pretty comfortable to be the counter-attacking side. I mean, before this set of games came out, only Spurs and Liverpool had scored more counter-attacking goals than Wolves. And we know that also Manchester United as well are quite happy with the pace, certainly with the likes of Rasmus Højlund and Amad Diallo.
And set plays will be interesting tonight. Two teams who are poor at defending set plays. Wolves in particular in the Premier League. 16 goals they've conceded from set plays in the league already this season. They were practicing them in the warm-up, and they'll need that practice tonight. And Santi Bueno's tangling with Højlund midway inside Wolves territory. Santi Bueno thumps the ball clear towards the halfway line beneath the floodlights here as Wolves scamper forward with Cunha towards the halfway line. His touch is heavy under pressure from Ugarte, and Manchester United have it back with Ahmad on the near side of the field. Back he goes to the halfway line, and Mazraoui goalless.
No, you're absolutely right to talk about set pieces as well. As much as Wolves have been conceding for fun, United have conceded 36% of their goals.
It's amazing.
Have come from corners.
And the problem seems to have got worse under Ruben Amorim. 5 goals conceded from set plays under the new head coach. So that's 5 of 10 that they've conceded under him in total, all of them from corners.
I mean, to say, use the word transition is very much an understatement. He's getting to know his players, though.
Maguire has floated a lovely ball, crossfield right to left, well controlled by Diogo Dalot, gets it back from Bruno Fernandes, with the edge of the 18-yard area, back to Bruno Fernandes, lovely return flick from Mainoo to Bruno Fernandes again, shot charged down from the edge of the penalty area by Nelson Semedo, the new Wolves captain. That was a good block after a lovely piece of football from Manchester United.
Yeah, he really is getting to know his players, not just from a tactical point of view, but from a mental point of view as well. And one thing I would say, for all the critics that he's had, or criticism that he has had, Bruno Fernandes, people say he's not the leader in terms of the Brian Robson, Steve Bruce, Rory Keane. Maybe not, but he's a leader in terms of getting hold of the ball and trying to do something, and it's exactly what he was trying to do there.
Well, Manchester United will move up to 10th in the Premier League if they win this evening, and Wolves could move out of the relegation zone if they're able to pick up a victory. Here is Lisandro Martinez, left of centre on the halfway line in that long sleeve white shirt, and Manchester United have comfortable possession now. Amorim is crouched down on the edge of his technical area, then he leaps to his feet all of a sudden. Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes midway into opposition territory, shrugged aside by Andre, who came darting across almost along the line of the edge of the centre circle, helped out by Matt Doherty, and there'll be a throw to Wolves in their left wing-back area on the near side of the field. Wolves playing from right to left in the first half towards the two-tiered Stan Cullis end of the ground. Great characterful ground, Molineux, and it's full again tonight as ever. Bruno Fernandes now. Good possession from Manchester United in the last couple of minutes, Scott.
Yeah, that's what they want to try and do. Try and see if they can control the tempo of the game.
Diogo Dalot drifting in field from the left and tries a low cross, turned away by Doherty, who's expecting the... Well, I think he was hoping that the throw would go for him, and it's gone Manchester United's way instead.
And look, you win the games in both boxes, and both attacking-wise and defensively, United haven't been good enough. But you can control the game, and therefore you're more likely to win the game if you control the game to your tempo and your pace in midfield, and that's what they're trying to do right now.
Bruno Fernandes, left corner of the penalty area, nudges it back under pressure to Ugarte, and he keeps the pace of the play moving quickly for the visitors here. Mazraoui, one of a number of players wearing gloves tonight. It is quite cold. Back to the halfway line, and Euro. Now Ahmad, thinking about drifting in field from the right. He's been a bright spark, of course, for Manchester United of late. He got that memorable winner in the Derby Day victory at the Etihad Stadium. Now Dalot is flagged offside, and that'll be a Wolves free kick. Manchester City held by Everton earlier today to a 1-1 draw. 1 win in 13 for Manchester. Manchester City. Then in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Bournemouth 0. Crystal Palace 0, Fulham. Scoring an injury time winner at Chelsea, would you believe it?
No,
so Chelsea,
I
4
got out
points
the car.
off the top.
No, Joe, I got out of the car, Chelsea were 1-0 up. It stayed like that, didn't it?
Harry Wilson on 82 and Rodrigo Muniz for Fulham's first win at Stamford Bridge since 1979.
Wow.
No, I definitely don't remember that.
The job that Marco Silva's doing right now is sensational.
Forward by Cunha for Wolves to the feet of Strand Larsen. Controls that pass, and that allows Dalot to regain possession easily for Manchester United. Newcastle 3, Aston Villa 0. Nottingham Forest up to third after beating the 10 men of Spurs, and Southampton beaten in Ivan Juric's first game in charge by West Ham. Liverpool against Leicester at 8 o'clock. Live on Talk Sport in the Championship. In the big game of the day, it finished Sheffield United 0, Burnley 2, so Leeds can go top with a win at Stoke at 8 o'clock, and Leeds are live on Talk Sport 2 tonight. Nelson Semedo with a throw for Wolves. 10.5 minutes gone. 0-0 here against Manchester United, who have possession back quickly. Bruno Fernandes looking to raid forward down that far side. He slips, and Doherty will dart in field, played across to Santi Bueno, and he will arc the ball clear out towards the far side. Little glancing touch out of play from Lisandro Martinez, and a good composure about Wolves as they win a throw on the far side of the field in front of the Manchester United fans, who are all in the lower tier of the Steve Bull stand. Now Jose Sarr plays the ball forward, the Wolves goalkeeper, to the feet of Cunha, the enigmatic number 10, and now João Gomez plays the ball backwards to the feet of Totti. Totti now feeding Jose Sarr, and he will clatter the ball high downfield through the dark evening sky. The towering header away by Harry Maguire for Manchester United, who sees upon it now with Anna racing down the right hand side. He's tripped by João Gomez. That's an obvious Manchester United free kick in a very dangerous position.
He didn't want him running him at all there, did he? And once he just stopped and then went again, Gomez was like, no, you may get the ball past me, but you're not coming past me. But I just want to say 20-30 seconds earlier, Ahmed was the one who started the press. The ball went back, and then Højlund also did the same thing. Jose Sarr ended up knocking it long, and then it was a battle between Maguire and Strand Larsen, which Maguire won. They won the knockdowns, and now Ahmed was able to get into a position to run at Gomez. Dangerous position now for United. So it started from the United press, something which I know for a fact that Ruben Amorim wants, and certainly his sporting side has been doing for the last few years.
So how is the Wolves set-piece defensive situation tonight? 16 they've conceded in the Premier League so far this season. Bruno Fernandes standing over the ball for Manchester United. 0-0 the score at the Sir Jack Hayward end, away to our right. Bruno Fernandes delivers into the 6-yard box, diving to punch it clear is Jose Sarr. Now Ugarte, the second deepest player aside from Mazraoui. Reverse ball in from Dalot. Højlund was jumping, headed away by Santi Bueno. Drops down to Mazraoui, 25 yards out. Just to his right is Ahmad. Plays it back to Bruno Fernandes. Lovely football, Manchester United. Manu dinks it over the top. Good header away by Doherty. Excellent intricate play from Manchester United. They look very sharp early on here as Cunha gets back with a challenge on Mazraoui. Right-handed to the penalty area, and Mazraoui looking for a corner, doesn't get it. Goal kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers, 0-0.
Yeah, two people I want to mention for United. One is Mazraoui, who I think has been great since he's come in, and pound for pound has got to be one of the best signings recently. I mean, it's still early days, of course, but you know, he's played as a third centre-back, he's played as left wing-back, he's playing as right wing-back right now. Obviously, he's played at right-back as well and left full-back, so little nuances, differences between those positions, and yet for me he's still been one of United's best players. The other one I want to mention is Bruno Fernandes. Just the way he plays things one touch at times. He knows what he wants to do before he receives the ball, and therefore the opposition players can't get set. That's exactly what happened there. The ball was played back to him, he played it in first time, another little 1-2, and he nearly got a shot off. Good defending in the end, but good play from Bruno.
There's a great sense of threat already, isn't there, about Bruno Fernandes and Manchester United, with some of the intricate one-touch play that we've seen in the final third.
He looks sharp, doesn't he? I don't think he had as much Christmas pud as I did yesterday.
Doesn't feel like it, does it?
No.
Focus was on the football, Santi Bueno back to Jose Sa, who hoists a high clearance downfield. Harry Maguire challenging with Jürgen Strand-Larsen. Wolves have it back now with the giant Totti, the centre-half. He's run into Bruno Fernandes, who went down hurt after that accidental collision. Santi Bueno sends it back to Sa, the goalkeeper, with a rather nonchalant chip, and then a very clever touch infield by Cunha, and he gets the return ball from João Gomez, and he's charged over the halfway line. Mazraoui sliding in, makes a challenge. The Wolves supporters appeal. He definitely got to the ball. Cunha's gone down as though hurt. Wolves have it back now with Andre right in front of Ruben Amorim on the edge of the Manchester United technical area, but the visitors are quickly there to win back possession again.
Do you know what brilliant defending that was from Mazraoui, but I almost wanted that to score.
Now Guedes, 25 yards out, right into the penalty area, lovely reverse ball to Doherty, and Onana hangs on at the near post. Good handling from the Manchester United goalkeeper. Doherty cutting back across. The number 9, Jürgen Strand-Larsen, waiting in the penalty area to try and apply the finishing touch, but Onana got there before he did.
Well, I was about to say they almost wanted Wolves to score because of a little bit of skill in his own half from Matheus Cunha. It didn't happen, but very nearly got on the end of that there, went down the right hand side, and just waiting on the replay to see whether the ball was played too close to Onana or Strand-Larsen has to come a little bit more across the near post. But certainly the closest probably they've come to scoring so far.
Well, the goalkeeper had to cling on, and he did, with Wolves number 9 lurking almost on the goal line. And Manchester United have possession again with just over a quarter of an hour gone. You're listening to Talk Sport, the 10 games of Boxing Day, live with us, and Arsenal in action at home to Ipswich tomorrow night. Brighton against Brentford will be on Talk Sport 2. So much drama, as you've been hearing already today, in the Premier League, and there could yet be plenty more to come. But you do feel that in the context of the title race, Liverpool could end up being the big winners of Boxing Day, as the ball is given away by Ugarte of Manchester United. Now João Gomez turns right of centre, 25 yards out. He's been held up by Menu. Guedes gets himself back on side, tees up Nelson Semedo with the cross, loops up into the air, header away by Ugarte. Dalot's deft touch, not a good one. Ahmad though has won it back on the edge of the D. Tried to race clear on the counter, and the free kick goes the way of Manchester United. What have you made, Scott, of the way that Wolves have approached the game so far in their first home game under the new head coach from Portugal, Vitor Pereira?
Yeah, look, I talked about the stat of before these round of games that only Spurs and Liverpool scored more counter-attacking goals than Wolves, so clearly they're very dangerous in that way. I think there's a battle to have the ball. It's not as if they're just sitting back, say Forest-like, and quite happy to just sit in and then really counter. They want to try and get the ball.
Maguire hits it over the top, and again he's looking for Dalot as that outlet. Dalot controls very impressively. Lovely ball rolled square to Menu, and Menu's touch, he's managed to win it back off Aït-Nouri. Now Mazraoui 25 yards out, manages to skew it wide to Menu. Good cross, Højlund couldn't reach it. Now Dalot at the back post, far side the left. He controls level the edge of the 6-yard box, taking on Nelson Semedo. Wolves have got everybody in old gold, back behind the ball. That cross from Menu only needed a touch from Rasmus Højlund to divert it on target. And now the momentum has gone out of the Manchester United attack as Wolves break forward, and Cunha, the ball just sticks to his feet like glue. He's evaded 2 or 3 in white. It's a brilliant run, and then he's tripped by Bruno Fernandes 30 yards from goal. That was mesmeric footwork from Wolves' main man Matheus Cunha, and Bruno Fernandes is yellow carded as he continues his protests to the referee Tony Harrington.
Oh, he's got no complaint whatsoever. Matheus Cunha, I mean, Wolves fans will be hoping the FA have Christmas till the end of the season now and don't actually have that hearing, because he is just incredible, isn't he? As decent as they are, and they do have good individual players, and I'm not surprised to see Aït-Nouri come in, because even though they've got the great result against Leicester, Wolves are a better side with him in it. Matheus Cunha is the start. He's the start. And the skills that he's already shown so far, they went past 2 players there, and he was running at 3. No right whatsoever. He was running at 3 as if, like, I can take you on. I played with Paolo Di Canio, who was very similar like that as well. Yeah. Perhaps Cunha's a little bit quicker, but Di Canio had so much skill. But you sort of think you can't go past those 3 players. He did, and Cunha very nearly did.
Cunha delivers the free kick, and he tried to catch out Onana at the near post. Everybody was expecting the cross, and Cunha's effort on goal really lacked power and whip, and Onana was able to simply collapse across to his left-hand side and pounce on the loose ball. So Wolves 0, Manchester United 0. In the 19th minute, Manchester United's next game will be live on Talk Sport. That's at home to Newcastle on the 30th of December. Here they come with Ahmad, raining down the near side of the right. He's got Totti backing off. Ahmad towards the corner of the penalty area, held up now by the retreating Nelson Semedo. Ugarte goes crossfield. Right to left, it's controlled well by Diogo Dalot. Still some fog rolling in here in the stadium, but it's a lot lighter than earlier. Diogo Dalot with a curling shot, well saved by Jose Sarr. 25 yards out, and the goalkeeper sprung to his left to turn it away. It's a corner.
Well, look, Diogo Dalot doesn't really want to be playing on the left, but that's what you can do. You're able to come inside onto your right foot, and that was going top corner, and Jose Sarr used every inch of his 6'4" height and just about tipped it round the post.
He's a big goalkeeper, isn't he? Never looked in real trouble, Jose Sarr, but it was a good effort from Dalot, who, as we've seen, can strike them from range. Corner to Manchester United, delivered in left-footed by Ahmad, high to the back post, and a thumping header away by Totti. Now it's dropped for Lisandro Martinez, holds the ball up brilliantly on the corner of the penalty area, took Guedes out of the game, but couldn't quite get beyond Nelson Semedo. Totti squeezes the ball out of play via the deflection off Ugarte, and it's a Wolves throw in their right wing back position. Wolves 0, Manchester United 0 on Talk Sport with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream the biggest Premier League games, available with no contract on Now. Search Now Sports. He's quite an energetic presence on the touchline, isn't he? Ruben Amorim. He's had a tough start to life at Manchester United, although there have been one or two positives. Some of the time it's felt more of the same.
No, it's like turning around the Titanic for sure, and I think he's realising exactly, both on and off the pitch,
just how tough it is. No Marcus Rashford in the squad again today. Ahmad's won it back for Manchester United high up the pitch, but goes back to Ugarte.
I mean, I'm just thinking about that press conference he had where the roof was leaking and the reporter had to go, and it was like a look of...
There's a metaphor there, isn't
am I, if not one, the biggest club in the world, and this is happening, honestly. But he's just got to concentrate on the pitch, and yeah, it's a big job for sure.
What's the promise of a stadium fit for the future for Manchester United, but that all feels quite a long way away at the moment. Here is Harry Maguire in the middle of the three centre-halves. He's played it square to Lisandro Martinez, and now Onana, dressed in the all-black goalkeeping kit today, forward by Euro, high up over the halfway line. Totti backpedaling, and he's easily got there in front of Ahmad, who tries to slide in but win it back, but Totti uses his strength effectively, and then sees Ahmad coming behind him again and rolls the ball back to the feet of Jose Sarr, and Vitor Pereira will be relatively pleased so far, though it is Manchester United who have looked the more likely to score the game's opening goal.
Yeah, look, we're about halfway through the first half, and although it's 0-0, it's a really interesting game.
Gonzalo Guedes darts down the middle and shoots! Hammers it just 2 or 3 yards wide of Onana's top corner. He's a man who is certainly in goal-scoring form all of a sudden now. His first goal of the Vitor Pereira era away at Leicester just before Christmas, and he was confident enough to take the shot on, but nowhere near troubling the goalkeeper in the end.
No, but he scored in his last game, and he wants to try and score in this one for sure. He's 25-30 yards out. It's difficult to try and play someone in, so why not have a pop yourself?
Looking tonight to score his first home Premier League goal since November 2022. We are now, as Scott was saying, midway through the first half. It is Wolves 0, Manchester United 0. For the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talk Sports Premier League coverage. Right now, you can get Wolves to win at 7-2, the draw at 2-1, and a Manchester United win is 10-11. That's all thanks to Betfair, who are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute guarantee. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Before the game, what did you think how this would turn out?
Completely unpredictable.
Yeah. Wolves where they are, but good win. Manchester United being United, but a million miles of where they want to be. I predicted a low-score draw.
One of the hardest games of the weekend to call, difficult. I think. Scott Minto, former Chelsea, West Ham, Benfica defender, with us in the commentary box. Here is Maguire square to Euro for Manchester United, who actually have started the game pretty well. I think for 23.5 minutes played, Ahmad has been... the flag has gone up in front of Ahmad, and he's fouled Totti, and that'll be a Wolves free kick right in front of Vitor Pereira, who has been close to a Premier League job at Everton a couple of times in the past, and now here he is in situ at Molineux for the first time.
Yeah, look, I think United have played well. I think Wolves have done okay as well. I think both the managers would be pretty happy with how it's gone so far. Not too many clear-cut chances.
Well, Jose Sarr very confident to chip the ball away from the onrushing Højlund and hold on to possession, the Wolves goalkeeper, and then he rolls the ball out confidently to the left, and Cunha, little flick forward by Guedes, and then a slide tackle from Ugarte on João Gomez. Manchester United have it back with Diogo Dalot, who's charged up the middle. Hurley ball over the top by Bruno Fernandes. Out comes Jose Sarr, and he's beaten both Dalot and Mainu to it. And now Manchester United are 2 men short as Wolves come forward on the counter, 0-0.
Yeah, I don't like to see my goalkeepers doing that too often, but he did do well.
Guedes early ball in from the right. It's cleared away by Harry Maguire, thumping the ball out of play, and that's a Wolves throw down by the corner flag.
So not only did he kind of dink it over Rasmus Højlund and then passed it off, 20 seconds later he came out, caught it, and he didn't try to keep it and just keep hold of it and everyone gets set. He threw it out straight away, and Wolves, again, I talk about the counter and how good they can be. That's where they can hurt Manchester United, when United are attacking themselves but lose the ball, especially with the likes of Matheus Cunha. And get him on the ball on a counter-attack in the final third, anything can happen.
Derby 0, West Brom 0. In the Championship tonight, live on TalkSport 2, West Brom's first game since the departure of Carlos Corberán to become manager of Valencia. Stoke against Leeds on TalkSport 2 at 8 o'clock. Here on TalkSport, Liverpool will aim to go 7 points clear. Ball in by Semedo, Strand Larsen's header, tipped over by Onana. Downward header, awkward for the goalkeeper, who managed to get a glove on it to fling it over the top. Wolves have got their first corner away to our left.
And that started again for Matheus Cunha, just dropping off inside his own half on the left-hand side, shaping to go outside, came inside. He put a 50-yard crossfield ball. It was absolutely brilliant. The ball came in early, and Strand Larsen, as a tall striker as he is, exactly what he wants. Headed it down a bit too much, but in the end it was still a decent save for Onana.
Nobody on the posts here for Manchester United. Nouri will take the corner for Wolves and be left-footed and in swinging into the 6-yard box, and the header away by Euro, not very far. Guedes down by the dead ball line, but going away from goal and faced up by Ugarte, who is tracking his every move. The assistant flags on the near side, and the ball had gone out of play off the foot of Guedes, and that will be a throw to Manchester United. There have been lively moments from both teams so far, but it is still 0-0.
And at the start of the game I had no idea who was going to win this. Right now I still have no idea who's going to win this.
We've not been enlightened any further, have we, by what we've seen?
But both have been positive, which is good to see. I think the neutral, despite it being 0-0 at the moment, will enjoy both teams with their own different types of tactics, trying to get that first and probably crucial goal.
Here is Cunha for Wolves, dispossessed on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Then Mainu is tripped. João Gomez, who does commit plenty of fouls, concedes the free kick to Manchester United. And of course, Kobbie Mainoo, who was fouled a moment ago, a scorer of a memorable goal here in this fixture last season, a 97th minute winner to make it 4-3. We wouldn't mind drama like that again today, would we?
We'll take it.
On by Lisandro Martinez. Header away by Doherty. Recovering to clear away to prevent Diogo Dalot getting on the end of it for Manchester United. They've got to throw level with the edge of the penalty area now. And he's gone square to Bruno Fernandes. The captain back out wide to Dalot again, waiting for the run of Mainu on the underlap. Mainu down by the dead ball line, taking on Andre, cuts it back to Diogo Dalot, onto the right foot, and this time he bends it over the top. Good football from Manchester United, and it did take a deflection. Dalot in that infield position looks a threat, and they've got a corner.
Well, that's what he's been allowed to do. Despite him being a right-footed left wing-back, Ruben Amorim clearly said, look, go inside, be inverted if you want to, and make the extra man, and certainly he's had a couple of opportunities just on the edge of that box.
Maguire at the back post for Manchester United, delivered in by Ahmad towards the front post and headed away by Andre. Only as far as Ahmad again, and he's blocked off by Cunha. Cunha now, using his strength to shrug aside Ahmad, and he got beyond Ugarte, not past the sliding Euro. Free kick given by the referee, who should have played the advantage. And now we're in a situation where Wolves really could have had a counter-attack there, but Cunha's being asked to stop the play, go back 10 yards, and that's taken all the momentum away from Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, it didn't need to do that. It wasn't that far away. And, you're trying to gain the advantage, or you're trying to get an advantage for the player who was fouled. By the way, he's also a pretty decent left-back as well as attacking midfielder.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Here is Lisandro Martinez over the halfway line to Højlund. He's got Bruno Fernandes on his outside, far side the Manchester United left. He skips in field, plays the ball square to Ugarte, quickly on to Mazraoui, again 30 yards out, right of centre here. He looks up, Højlund was looking for the cross. Mazraoui goes back now to Euro, and Maguire in the centre circle. Derby 1, West Brom 0. Live in the Championship right now over on TalkSport 2. Jerry Yates has got the Derby goal. Kobbie Mainoo in behind on the Manchester United left. He's into the area, he cut it back for Ugarte, swung at it and missed. It's dropped though to Ahmad. Ahmad thinks about the shot, he digs it over the top, and Bruno Fernandes couldn't get there. It was overhit, and it's through to Jose Sarr, who belts the ball high downfield. Euro is backpedaling, got to be careful. Gonzalo Guedes beats him to it, and he holds it up off Martinez, who eventually just stretches a leg to whip it off the toes of Guedes. There's a great pace to this game. There's a good atmosphere at Molineux. It's Boxing Day football just as we like it on TalkSport.
Absolutely, the two most dangerous players for United, Ahmad and Bruno, nearly combining to get a great opportunity for Bruno. Would only been 6 yards out with the timing of the run that he made, just a little bit overplayed. But again, Jose Sarr, as soon as he got the ball in his hands, he's looking up straight away. Clearly been told by Vitor Pereira, when United are on the attack and we win the ball back, let's transition really quickly. And Martinez, to be fair to him, tucked round really well.
Another crossfield ball, right to left for Manchester United. Again, they look for Dalot, hugging the touchline on the far side, and now he plays the ball infield and square to Mainoo. 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area, back out wide to Dalot again. Now Bruno Fernandes in a crossing position, deflected cross, and it's hammered up into the air by João Gomes, and suddenly a little bit of the fog has returned as Andre brings the ball down for Wolves, and he feeds Cunha just shy of halfway. Good football at times from both teams tonight. Ahmad has won it back. Early ball up the left, and Højlund is having to really hair forward after that. He's beaten Santi Bueno to it. He's held it up impressively, the number 9. Højlund now looks for options in that all-white change kit for Manchester United, playing from left to right. Now Diogo Dalot takes up possession. Over half an hour gone, and it's 0-0 on TalkSport. Ahmad holds up the play, and Wolves defending with everybody back behind the ball, and defending really had to be one of Vitor Pereira's very top priorities after really the defensive shambles that they produced so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, to be the worst defence, concede 40 goals.
40 goals, Scott.
It's just incredible, isn't it? You got no chance. You've got to be scoring 3 every game to almost get anything out of the game. Can't be done. Look at that. Talked about XG and whether you're into it or not.
Well, we'll come back to that in a moment, because here come Wolves again. Guedes racing down the middle. Was he tripped by Ugarte tracking back? No. Manchester United have it with Maguire, and he strides purposefully over the halfway line and knocks the ball square to Dalot. Maguire thinks about staying forward and now trots back to centre defence. Manchester United at walking pace.
Yeah, I mentioned this earlier to Natalie about they have the best over-performance on XG in the Premier League. They've scored 27, their XG is 18, but they've got the worst underperformance for conceding. Conceded 40, the XG 28.4. Now, whether you're really into it or not, as I say, I think it gives you an idea, but it's not my Bible. The bottom line is they're clinical going forward, but I do believe take out the individual errors and work on them as a team. That's what Pereira can do, and I think they'll be much better in defence.
They have scored 6 more than Manchester United, as you say, Scott. Out on the left though for Manchester United is Dalot. Referee played the advantage after a foul on Bruno Fernandes, and now he brings the play back, and there's going to be a yellow card here out of the pocket of the referee, and it's in the direction of João Gomes, who, as I say, is used to getting yellow carded. He appeals, his arms are outstretched, but it won't change the decision of the referee, and it is a Manchester United free kick. 12 minutes plus added time remaining in the first half. It's 0-0, and these are the thoughts of Scott Minter.
Yeah, I'm not really sure he needed to make a foul there either. And again, talk about set pieces, both these sides very poor defensively. Clearly both coaches trying to work on them. Does take a little bit of time, but it's a great opportunity for United.
Bruno Fernandes standing over it here in the foggy conditions at Molineux. The Wolves fans are on their feet behind the goal. Lots of old gold scarves and bobble hats on show today. Bruno Fernandes, one arm up into the air. The delivery will be right-footed, floated high to the back post, and Diogo Dalot climbing to head it back across. There's Lisandro Martinez with a clever touch, but not enough power behind it to beat the diving Jose Sarr, who holds on to the ball as well.
Yeah, it's unlucky. Good cross to the far post, headed down. Martinez directed it well, but didn't get enough power on it.
Well, it's an enterprising and open game at the moment. Cunha looks the best attacking player on the pitch.
It absolutely looks the best player, for sure. And, you know, if I were Wolves players, I'd try and find a way to get him on the ball, whether it's him in the final third, but he drops off quite a lot, but he can start attacks. You know, he, without a doubt, is the most dangerous player for Wolves and the best player at this moment in time on the pitch.
Strand Larsen has held it up neatly to play it back to Cunha, one touch and then another to roll it down the middle towards Strand Larsen. Well seen by Maguire, who plays a good ball out of the defence, angled towards the near side to right, and Ahmad with a careless back heel gives possession straight back to Wolves. Cunha again threads the ball out to the left and Ait Nouri, and Cunha receives the 1-2 touch back on the halfway line.
Ahmed is incredible talent, he really is, and I think he's been brilliant over the last few games, but there he's just got to learn how to keep the ball, and if he's got 2 or 3 players around him, then somehow buy a foul and don't give the ball away with some silly little flick.
Headed by Ait Nouri infield to Cunha, chests it down under pressure from Euro Anugarte and wins a free kick. Earlier in the Premier League today, Manchester City 1, Everton 1, Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 1, Fulham 2, Newcastle 3, Aston Villa 0, Nottingham Forest up to third after beating Spurs 1-0, and Southampton 0, West Ham 1. So Liverpool 4 points clear of Chelsea, and Liverpool with the chance to go further clear when they take on Leicester at 8 o'clock in a game you can hear live and only on Talk Sport. Nottingham Forest into third, and Arsenal a point behind them in fourth. They play Ipswich tomorrow night, again in a game live and exclusive on Talk Sport. The ball is out on the Wolves' right, but Nelson Semedo can't keep possession. Lisandro Martinez hammers it clear. Cunha's floated ball right to left to find Ait Nouri. He took it down brilliantly. Mazraoui's backing off him. Lovely ball across the face of goal. Needed a touch, and it would have been 1-0, but nobody was there in the old gold shirts of Wolves, and it goes behind in the end, harmlessly for a goal kick.
And that's why Ait Nouri is back in the side after a 1-match suspension. He only needs half a yard. It's brilliant, it really is. The problem is, he's put it in between the goalkeeper and the defenders, but it's so difficult for the attackers to, 1, stay onside, and then 2, make up the yards that they need to. So you could say that United held their line really, really well, but certainly dangerous. Again, Cunha getting on the ball and getting the ball out to Ait Nouri. He's very good on the left.
8.5 minutes remain in the first half, plus any added time. Cunha tangling with Euro, who ended up on the floor, and now he's received the downward head of the pass from Totti. He knocks it back to João Gomez, who's got plenty of time to thread a ball out to the right. Here come Wolves with the captain Nelson Semedo. Heavy pass, way too much weight on that. No way Gonzalo Guedes was going to get there, but you have to say he's been in charge for a week, Vitor Pereira, and the improvements for Wolves are there for all to see.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Joe, how we talked in the first sort of 10-15 minutes that, you know, neither side were massively on top, but United were kind of controlling the tempo. But there's no doubt about it, in the next 15, Wolves have been on top. They've come reasonably close to scoring. They've certainly looked dangerous. And Matheus Cunha, he's just a brilliant player. You feel like something's going to happen whenever he's on the ball. Important, though, when you are on top, to strike. You know, you feel that United will come again, if not in this half, then certainly in the second half. And it might be one of those games where just 1 goal wins it.
Andre, the number 7, high crossfield ball, cuts through the evening sky, and he finds Nelson Semedo, who brings it down neatly 5 or 6 yards from the corner of the penalty area, and then pinged from right to left by Doherty to find Ait Nouri. Controls it brilliantly in front of Mazraoui. Ait Nouri to the dead ball line, tries to chip it back across. Mazraoui got a touch. It's a corner to Wolves. Wolves 0, Manchester United 0 on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs. And now, here come Doherty, Santi Bueno and Totti into the penalty area for the corner.
Do you know what? I'm loving the battle down the left when Ait Nouri gets forward in the one, and why the Mazraoui, you know, as a fullback going forward, the other one defending. It's fascinating to watch.
Here comes the corner from Cunha. Right-footed and in, swinging into the six-yard box. Onana punches away, almost ends up flying into the back of his own net. Good height and distance on the punch, though, from the Manchester United goalkeeper. Everybody back in white. Nelson Semedo, 40 yards out with a long-range shot. Oh, it's deflected just wide. He really caught that nicely, did Nelson Semedo, and suddenly had Onana really concerned, plunging away to his left. It came off Ugarte. It's another Wolves corner, still 0-0.
Well, I tell you what, that wasn't a million miles away, but I was thinking, don't shoot from there, please. The deflection has got it up, there's a little bit of spin, and it's just gone wide. Certainly Onana dived as long as he possibly could there.
Corner to Wolverhampton Wanderers, away to the left-hand side. It'll be delivered in by Aït-Nouri. No, he takes it short to Andre. Back out wide to the taker, Aït-Nouri again. Now he tees up Cunha, edge of the box. Square to João Gomez, edge of the D. Whips in a high crossfield ball. And Cunha tried to reach it. It's over his head. And that's gone out of play and behind for a goal kick to Manchester United. Yes, well, a former fullback maybe thinking, as you'd normally surely be absolutely right to think that 40 yards out, nothing's on. And actually it was really the deflection, wasn't it, that nearly caused a problem for Onana.
Yeah, I don't think he's well known for scoring 40-yard screamers.
I don't think he is either.
I think what it does tell you is the atmosphere here. You know, it's the first time I've actually been here this season. I've watched Wolves a lot, but it's the first time I've been here, and I'm not sure what the atmosphere has been like, but you wouldn't believe this is a Wolves side that's just got rid of the manager and is struggling down at the bottom.
Oh, but a miscue by Totti. Ahmad with the left-footed curler. Good block by Santi Bueno on the edge of the penalty area. It's still alive here for Manchester United. Mazraoui's downward header, and Totti out muscles Mainu. And it's gone behind for a goal kick to Wolves, away to our right-hand side. Well, it's been a very difficult and highly charged atmosphere at times, and we've seen those post-match incidents, haven't we, as well? And I think there was a real sense that Gary O'Neill had lost control of the situation by the end, and there's a difficult climate, isn't there, for any manager, because of what the Wolves fans are saying is a real lack of investment by the ownership at the club. But I think they did have to make a change, as Mazraoui's downward header is then flicked forward 10 yards by Ugarte into the feet of Ahmad, who's converged upon by the Wolves players, but managed to steer the ball impressively. Square into the feet of Mainu. And Manchester United now have it with Lisandro Martinez, left edge of the centre circle, on to Højlund, who's unable to hold it up with his back to goal. And now Wolves quick and fleet-footed on the counter again. Semedo up over the halfway line, midway inside the Manchester United half. He jinks in field, plays a square ball to Andre, and now Cunha. Andre's touch is heavy, not a good ball back to him by Cunha. Sold his teammate short really there, but Manchester United couldn't keep hold of it. Aït-Nouri, left wing position, 42nd minute, 0-0. Guedes now infield to Cunha, always looking dangerous, always looking to create something. Teases it back instead to Andre. Manchester United with a good shape defensively there, quite compact, and there was no way through for Wolves, so they go back to the halfway line, and Doherty with another high long diagonal ball. Again, Aït-Nouri is the outlet, and he plays it back to Cunha. A little bit of a struggle for Mazraoui at the moment, Scott.
Brilliant play from Aït-Nouri. I mean, it was a 40-50 yard crossfield pass, and Mazraoui's trying to get close to him. He chested the ball, and you thought that Mazraoui could get there. He got there first, flicked it up, flipped it over him, tried to play a little 1-2, nearly came off.
João Gomez out to the near side at Aït-Nouri again, and he takes on Euro this time. He steamrollers in field and then looks at the return ball from João Gomez, which is overhit. Goal kick.
This is why Aït-Nouri's come back in. I mean, in one sense, you can sort of say, how can you not have a completely untrained side when you've just won 3-0 in your first game in charge, and it's 3-0 at half time? But this is what
Rodrigo Gomez scored in that game.
Absolutely, yes.
He was one of the scorers.
I feel for him, I really feel for him, but the bottom line is you have to be ruthless, and Wolves are a better side with Aït-Nouri in it, as we're seeing this evening.
And he's far more inexperienced, isn't he, at Premier League level, of course, Rodrigo Gomez, than Aït-Nouri. Starting to get one or two back from injury, Wolves, as well, which can only help. Onana clears long for Manchester United. 2 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half, and once we're done with all the football tonight, Liverpool against Leicester at 8 o'clock, you can call the sports bar to have your say on a brilliant day of Boxing Day action here on Talk Sport. 03717 223344, the number to call. And it'll be Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy with you tonight from 10. Here is Dallow with a very heavy touch for Manchester United. Though he does win the throw, Wolves fans up in the top tier of the Steve Bull stand on the far side can't believe that. Manchester United have it with Mainu, and in goes Andre with a robust challenge to say the very least, and Nelson Semedo likewise, this time the throw in exactly the same position midway into the Manchester United half goes the way of the home team. Very even game so far. Totti in the centre circle. Wolves look like they're finishing the half stronger, Scott.
No, absolutely. Second half of this half, if not a little bit longer, I think they have been the better side. Again, not creating massive clear-cut chances, but more so than United, and looking more dangerous on the ball.
Nelson Semedo, inside right channel, taking on Mainu, whipping in a right-footed cross. Mazraoui's got a head back clear at the back post. He does, to the edge of the penalty area. Cunha tried to take the ball down on the half-turn, but he couldn't get away from Lisandro Martinez. It was won back by Guedes at the expense of a free kick. And Ugarte went to ground there. Gonzalo Guedes, doesn't he look lively so far this evening? But the Wolves fans are a bit upset as the referee gives a free kick against their team.
Do you know what? I could talk for hours about Gary O'Neill and how he has been unfortunate, and the players that have gone and that hasn't been replaced, and you can see he's a very good coach, and he will come back again, I believe, in the Premier League, although his next job might have to be a top-end championship. But it's just unbelievable how these same players can look completely different with a lack of confidence, and that kind of... I'm not saying it was toxic here, but certainly the pressure they were under, both home and away, but especially at home. These look like they're a bunch of players who are really enjoying their football, and they haven't done that all season.
1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. Maybe you didn't need me to tell you that. Such is the sound of the PA system here. Wolves out on the left with Mainu, 10 yards from the dead ball line. Clever trickery, but he can't get beyond Andre, who's across to win it back for Wolves. And now Nelson Semedo will hammer it long. Clever ball downfield to Gonzalo Guedes, who sticks a leg out to control and pokes it wide to Cunha. Cunha up the left-hand side, near side of the field. Nobody really in the middle to aim at. He's dinked it over the top, looking for Aït-Nouri. There was no great rhythm in the end to that Wolves attack, and we are nearly at the end of the minute added at the end of the first half.
Should have played him earlier, really. That ball was in when there was more space in behind, and Aït-Nouri was on his sprint. By the time he took the touch, and Aït-Nouri had to just stop it a little bit, had to be inch perfect, that dink over the top.
St Mirren 1, Rangers 0 in the Scottish Premiership this evening, and it's half-time here, and it's goalless. There have been lively moments for both teams. Wolves so much improved under Vitor Pereira. Jorgen Strand Larsen with a downward header tipped over by Andre Onana, and then Nelson Semedo, who's not scored in January, thought about going for goal from a long way out. Big deflection off Manuel Ugarte, had Onana scrambling, and it only drifted a yard or so wide. There was some good intricate football from Manchester United early on in the game. Dallow was an important outlet, his shot tipped away by Jose Sarr, but Rasmus Højlund hasn't really managed to get into the game at all. The one opportunity he did have came from a Kobbie Mainu cross, Højlund stretching to meet it, but he couldn't make contact. And here at a foggy Molineux at the break, it is Wolves 0, Manchester United 0.
Joe, thanks very much. We'll speak to Scott Minto in a second. I'm Adrian Durham at a foggy, probably an even foggier Anfield tonight. As of this moment in time, the game is definitely still on, but I'm up high in the main stand here at Anfield, and it's very difficult to see corner flags, just about see the other side of the pitch, the other stand opposite, but there's definitely fog around. But so far, this game is definitely still on. Scott Minto, there's two questions I want to ask you. First of all, about Wolves. Are they looking much improved under their new manager?
Yes, absolutely, Aid. I just touched it right at the end of half-time there of the first half, of how these same players look completely different. They look like the shackles have come off. They're not running in treacle. It was only me and you that were eating treacle yesterday, not these ones here for sure. And that's what a new manager can do, and that's why they've gone for a new manager bounce and that. But I think that 3-0 result, and that first half in particular against Leicester, has just let them see how good they actually can be. And with it being Vitor Pereira's first game here in charge, in the first 10 or so minutes, maybe even 15, United probably were a little bit more in control. But since then, Wolves have come back in, and they have the standout player, not just in their team, but on the pitch, in Matheus Cunha. And look, it's getting longer or closer closer and closer towards maybe one goal will win it. And still a lot can happen in the second half. But if it is going to be one goal, at this moment in time, I'd say it'd come from Wolves.
Manchester United, under their relatively new manager in the Premier League, have lost more than they've won. Are they showing any signs of even moderate improvement?
Now, the disappointing thing, I think, for Ruben Amorim would be actually they started the better side, and then, I wouldn't necessarily say got worse, but Wolves got better and Wolves were better. If it was almost the other way round, you're playing away in what is a really good atmosphere here at Molineux. And I love this stadium. I've been here a few times over the years, even played here as well. It's got a mixture of an old school, but it has a new feel to it as well. The atmosphere is great. If they'd have been under pressure in the first 10 minutes, then sustain that and become the better side, then I'd say, look, well done to them. But it's almost been the opposite. So Ruben Amorim must be scratching his head, because normally he's making 5 or 6 changes every game. He's only made 2. At some point he has to try and stick to a reasonably settled 11, and yet there isn't anyone apart from maybe Bruno Fernandes and maybe Ahmed as well that looks like they got a chance of taking Manchester United forward, or certainly helping United win this game at the moment.
Scott Minto for the time being. Thank you very much. Goalless at half-time, live and exclusive on TalkSport. Wolves 0, Manchester United 0. Let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free bet on multiples or bet builders this Boxing Day. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds and T's and C's apply. 18+ gambleaware.org.
I'm delighted to welcome in Sam Rosbottom. Sam, half-time odds please for Wolves 0, United 0.
Yeah, interesting first half there, and probably not one that really the odds does justice, if you get me. I mean, Wolves had a couple of chances there, pretty 50-50 in the game, but it is Manchester United who are still really fancied when it comes to the match odds. United 5-4 now, having been odds on before kick-off. They're drifting a little bit out. Wolves 7-2, the draw currently 6-4. Scott Minto just mentioned him, Mateus Cunha, absolutely running the show for Wolves. He is 5-1 now to score or assist. That we've odds boosted from 4-1, but one to look out for. He's been pulling the strings for Wolves, definitely.
Sam, thanks very much for that odds update. All thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to begambleaware.org.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free bet on multiples or bet builders this Boxing Day. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds and T's and C's apply. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Well, TalkSport, the only place to be for your Boxing Day football. In today's earlier Premier League game, Spurs lost 1-0 at Forest, meaning they've now lost 4 of their last 5 in the league. After the match, Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou gave his thoughts to TalkSport's Adam Bridge.
That is what it is. You just got to deal with it. No choice. Players are given everything, and that's all I can ask for as a manager. And we've got to just keep focusing on the job at hand. And we've got a big game Sunday, and focus on that now.
You are a bit short in some areas, obviously, with some of the injuries you've had. The window's about to open up. Is that something you're consciously already looking at and hoping to get some kind of support from the board?
The club's working hard in the background, but as I said, we've got a big game Sunday that we've got to focus on now, and then we'll look at January after that.
And how much work can you actually do between now and Sunday to try and put some of the things that aren't quite flowing perfectly?
I don't think it's a matter of that. It's just seeing how many fit bodies we've got.
Spurs 1-0 defeat of Forest. Anthony Elanga with the only goal in the first half. It was live on TalkSport. Forest now up to third. Spurs will be without Jed Spence on Sunday. He was sent off in injury time. Very cynical foul as well. Result of the day for Fulham. Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca. Now, he's been consistently playing down his side's title chances. And after Fulham came from behind to win 2-1 at Stamford Bridge, thanks to Rodrigo Muniz's 95th minute winner, Maresca's side are 4 points behind leaders Liverpool, who have 2 games in hand, one of which should come exclusively live on TalkSport at 8 p.m. here at Anfield as they host Leicester. For Maresca, he was asked if that result means they now can't win the title.
No, I don't think. I said many times, when we win game, or like tonight we lose game, no matter, it's not if we win or we will lose the game that we are ready for the title. It's most the feeling that we are inside, the reality that we can see that we need to do, we need to improve many things.
Well, I've got to say, Cole Palmer opened the scoring first half for Chelsea, but the 2 goals, the first that drew Fulham level from Harry Wilson, the winner in the 95th, terrible defending, truly terrible defending from Chelsea. 2 subs with the goals to win it for Fulham at their near neighbours Chelsea. 4 consecutive wins for Newcastle. All competitions have seen Eddie Howe's side move up to 5th. Today they beat Villa 3-0, and Eddie Howe keen to see Newcastle continue their good form.
Well, we can't lose our focus, and we can't influence things that we can't control, so you have to really focus on the training and the work and the preparation that's going into a lot of games, as you said, a lot of important games for us. In amongst all the league games, we've got the Carabao Cup semi-final, we want to do well in that. With the FA Cup, we want to do well in that, so there's no respite for us, and there's no time to lose focus on what's really important, so hopefully the lads will keep their standards.
That was a beauty early on from Anthony Gordon to get it underway. Alexander Isak scored, of course. Joe Linton in injury time. Newcastle up to 5th. John Duran was sent off first half of Villa. A boot in the back of Fabian Schär as he was on the ground wasn't the cleverest thing he's ever done in his life, and he got a straight red. Earlier, live on TalkSport, I was at the Etihad for Man City 1, Everton 1. Jordan Pickford saving a Haaland penalty. Second half, Everton 5 points clear of the bottom 3. Palace are 5 points clear of the bottom 3 as well after a 0-0 draw at Bournemouth, and Southampton lost at home to West Ham. Jared Bowen with the only goal of the game. Saints bottom, 8 points adrift at the bottom as well. Over on TalkSport 2, Derby leading West Brom 1-0 thanks to Jerry Yates' goal, while it's Stoke against Leeds at 8 p.m. At the same time, here on TalkSport, we should have Liverpool against Leicester, but at half-time at Molineux, it's finally poised at 0-0. Second half on TalkSport next.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Get the festive action, available with no contract, on now. 18 plus, with our internet terms apply.
You could skydive out of a plane. Or swim with sharks. You might even skinny dip in icy cold waters. Or you could get that inexpressible high. That guaranteed rush from finding just the thing you wanted, the thing you needed, at a great sale price. IKEA Winter Sale now on. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
Psst, did you know you can order McDelivery deals? Like the Feed the Family deal for just $14.99. That's 4 selected burgers, 2 medium fries and 2 small fries. Who's in then?
Oh, yeah, me.
And me. McDelivery. You in? Delivery only from 11 a.m. 4 times selected burgers, 4 times selected fries. Subject to availability. Price, delivery fee and participation may vary.
At Betfair, we believe that to play different, you need the right tools. The boots, the world-class tactics, the science-backed nutrition. The pros have their tools, and with Betfair, so do you. Our safer gambling tools work just like the right pair of boots, designed to keep you on top of your game. Open the Betfair app to equip yourself so you can bet at your best. Betfair. Play different.
18 plus, begambleaware.org. We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Sack the gaffer. You need thesun.co.uk. Bagged a big move? Check out thesun.co.uk. Oh, come on, Ralph! Never a pen? Read thesun.co.uk. Seen red? See thesun.co.uk. Whatever's going on in the game, whenever you want it, wherever you are, from goals to gossip and everything football, it's got to be thesun.co.uk.
The Screwfix sale is now on, and it's big! Save a big £15 on the Gold Screw Trade Pack, now only $19.99. And grab the Stanley Organiser for just $9.99, saving you a big £10. Hurry, the sale must end on the 5th of January. It's big. Delivery fees may apply, subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
It's goal time.
Oh, and he's found the net!
Game day.
Live football coverage that's beyond compare.
Game day exclusive. Boxing Day special on TalkSport.
Doesn't this suddenly look like a very tricky game for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United? Now Guedes, 25 yards out, right into the penalty area, lovely reverse ball to Doherty, and Onana hangs on at the near post. It's a brilliant run, and then he's tripped by Bruno Fernandes, 30 yards from goal. That was mesmeric footwork from Wolves' main man, Matheus Cunha.
He is just incredible, isn't he? Matheus Cunha's start. He's the start.
All in by Semedo, Strand Larsen's header, tipped over by Onana.
Wouldn't believe this is the Wolves side that's just got rid of the manager.
And it's half-time here, and it's goalless. It is Wolves 0, Manchester United 0.
So goalless second half coming up live on TalkSport here at Anfield. The fog has eased just a teeny bit. And as of now, the game is definitely still on. Liverpool taking on Leicester. Just had a Leicester fan, I know, message me saying if the game is off, it's Leicester's best result of the season. Things aren't that bad for Leicester right now, although they are lambs to the slaughter defensively at this moment in time. We'll bring the team news as and when we have it, live from Anfield, but game is on. There is a little bit of fog. Liverpool-Leicester live on TalkSport. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Elsewhere in the EFL today, it's been a big day. Burnley up to second after a 2-0 win as Sheffield United, who remain top of the table, Leeds play later at Stoke live on TalkSport 2, and Birmingham can't stop winning at the moment, and who would have predicted that with all the money spent? They are top of League One. Another win for Wycombe keeps them very much in touch with Birmingham at the top of the table, and of course Peterborough United managed to ruin my Christmas. Thanks very much for that. I'm over it, already over it. If we look at the stats, Scott Minto, Wolves 0, Manchester United 0 at half-time. It has been a fairly decent game despite being goalless.
Aid, honestly, it's been a really enjoyable game, certainly for the neutral, which is what I am. And it was interesting to see how United started well, Wolves came back into it. Are we going to see goals in the second half, or is it going to be this one goal wins it? Listen, listening to you about Leicester, it's a massive 45 minutes for Leicester. Because if Wolves win this one and go above them, with all due respect, I don't see them getting anything at Anfield if that game is on. So if Wolves can get a goal here and keep a clean sheet, psychologically that makes a big difference at both sides.
Absolutely. Leicester will start the game in the bottom three. Could be huge for them. Wolves 0, Man United now, second half. Scott Minto and Joe Shannon.
Now Wolves will get us off and underway. No changes at half-time. Wolves playing from left to right in the old gold and black, and Manchester United in all white with black and red trim, playing from right to left in the second half. Still the fog, although far lighter than what it sounds like has been the case at Anfield over the last couple of hours or so. It is still here at Molineux, but it's still continuing to drift away. The first half where both teams had moments and both teams had half opportunities, but we're still yet to see the first goal. Wolves on the near side with Nelson Semedo, the captain, and the right wing back to Doherty, and now fellow centre half Santi Bueno, Totti the other centre half, and Nori the left wing back. Jose Sarr is in goal, Andre and Joao Gomez the two in the middle. Gonzalo Guedes and Matheus Cunha already lively tonight, either side of Strand Larsen up front. Manchester United continue with Onana in goal, Euro Maguire and Lisandro Martinez at the back, Mazraoui and Dalot the wing backs, Menu in midfield with Ugarte, and Bruno Fernandes and Ahmad in support of Rasmus Højlund. Fernandes has knocked the ball wide to the near side of the left, and here comes Diogo Dalot driving forward towards the corner of the penalty area. Lots of Wolves fans still retaking their seats for the second half here, and Nelson Semedo is tripped by Bruno Fernandes, who is sent off, a second bookable offence, and the Manchester United captain is dismissed less than 90 seconds into the second half. A foul on Nelson Semedo as the Wolves captain looked to clear. Bruno Fernandes was late with his challenge, and to his disbelief, the referee Tony Harrington produces a second yellow card. The Manchester United players seem to be only just realising what's happened. Maguire and Højlund walk over to lead the protests, but the referee's decision is final. He points to the tunnel 1, 2, 3 times, and Bruno Fernandes will take that desperate walk off the pitch straight back to the changing rooms. And just moments into the second half, Manchester United's captain is sent off, and they will play the rest of the game with the score 0-0 with only 10 men. Scott Minto.
Look, from a neutral point of view, you don't like to see it, but from a purely law-making point of view, and slow motion always makes it look worse. There's one angle in particular where he's missed the ball completely, and that's because he's come from over the top. The angle that he's come at makes it look, the tackle look much worse than perhaps Bruno Fernandes wanted it to be. But it's a lazy tackle, it's a mistimed tackle, it's a high tackle, it is a yellow card. It's not what we wanted to see. 11v11, and Bruno Fernandes, arguably United's best player in the first half. How do they react to this?
Manchester United potentially in real trouble here. Nelson Semedo is in down the right. Header in! Jürgen Strand Larsen! And the flag goes up. And Wolves thought they'd taken full advantage straight away. Thumping header from Strand Larsen into the back of the net. Manchester United were asleep, and VAR is going to check it. Nelson Semedo down the right-hand side. He looks on. I wonder whether the flag went up against Jürgen Strand Larsen in the middle. Wolves thought they'd taken the lead. Oh, but he was offside by some distance for Norwegian in the end.
Well, I still say it was inches, but I do believe it is the correct decision. And it's one of those where absolutely VAR will have to make sure they get this one right. It wasn't first of all Semedo being offside, and he used great strength against Darlow as that ball went over the top. And then he took the touch, and it was the right time in terms of touch, cross. Strand Larsen looks to me as if he just edged a little bit too further forward. And I said about the cross in the first half, didn't I, where Nori got half a yard and whipped it in. You have to try and make sure you are as close to the goalkeeper as possible while still staying onside. But I do think he's just strayed offside there.
I think it's a question, isn't it, of was Nelson Semedo ahead of Strand Larsen as he played it back?
Yeah, no, look, if he's ahead of Strand Larsen, then it doesn't matter, it's going to be onside. I don't think he was. I think at the moment the ball was played, I think Strand Larsen, because he wanted to make sure he was getting on the end of it, and because he knew he had half a yard on the defender, he didn't want to just pause. And yeah, you can see it as probably a good foot or so that he's offside.
So the goal is disallowed. Still Wolves 0, Manchester United 0, live and exclusive on Talk Sport. But Manchester United have had their captain sent off, Bruno Fernandes dismissed, and they'll play the rest of the game with only 10 men. I will give you the two sets of subs. Manchester United with Altay, De Ligt, Zirkzee, Eriksson, Garnacho, Casemiro, Anthony Evans and Toby Collier on the bench. Jose Sarr comes out of his goal, the Wolves goalkeeper, beaten to it by his own man, Totti. And now Santi Bueno has to thump the ball clear beneath the floodlights and over the halfway line. Lisandro Martinez hooks the ball up into that murky sky, and it's dropped down on the halfway line, chested down by Diogo Dalot. Cunha comes across for Wolves, and that's a neat back heel to find Doherty. The Wolves subs: Johnston the goalkeeper, Wang, Dawson, Rodrigo Gomez, Doyle, Forbes, Bellegarde, Mupiu and Pedro Lima. So it's 0-0, but Wolves now will really feel there's a big opportunity to record what would be just their second home Premier League win of the season. Nelson Semedo down the right, the near side. He's teed up Gonzalo Guedes. We're sat right behind the Wolves dugout here, and their new head coach Vitor Pereira looking to make it 2 wins from 2 as Wolves win a throw level with the edge of the 18-yard box.
Look, what I would say is it was in a place where Bruno didn't need to do it, and it wasn't his intention for it to come in that type of angle, but it was a lazy tackle. And because he came from that angle and from high to low rather than just across the floor, he's got late, he's caught him. It's a second yellow, and obviously with a second yellow, VAR can't get involved. I don't think they would anyway. It's not one of those that was clear and obvious error either way, really. But it's a big one. It's a big one for United.
Andres early ball up the inside right, and Strand Larsen got to it. Onana palms the ball away, and the flag is up again against Strand Larsen, who just can't keep himself onside at the moment. So Onana parried that down rather than holding on to the ball.
Yeah, and then I asked how United would react, and what happened within seconds. Wolves put the ball in the back of the net. Now, obviously it didn't count, but still Wolves can take a lot of positives. The fact that they were able to get down the right, muscle the defender off the ball. Strand Larsen was able to get in behind his defender, and they were able to put the ball in the back of the net. And if they can do something similar over the next 40 odd minutes or so, 2 or 3 times, and there's no reason why they can't all time it right and get that important goal.
Scott Minto with us tonight, one of Scott's old clubs, Chelsea, beaten by Fulham earlier on today in the Premier League.
Right.
But
West Ham won as well.
For a bit of, that was just what I was going to say. A bit of balance. West Ham winners at Southampton in Ivan Juric's first game in charge. Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham 0. Tottenham finishing with 10 men. Forest up to 3rd. Newcastle on a good run, 3. Aston Villa 0. Bournemouth 0. Crystal Palace 0. And earlier on, Manchester City 1. Everton 1. Another full-time score. Erling Haaland missing a penalty as Manchester City's poor run continues. Liverpool-Leicester live from 8. Liverpool with the chance to go 7 clear at the top. Stoke against Leeds will be on TalkSport 2 as Kobbie Mainoo drives a free kick high to the edge of the Wolves penalty area. Maguire went up for it. Wolves smuggle it clear, and here's Gonzalo Guedes midway inside his own half against the 10 men of Manchester United. He goes down and he wins a free kick, and now Ugarte doesn't want to give the ball back, and he's going to be yellow carded by the referee. Cards are flying out of the pocket of Tony Harrington now. It's a no-nonsense, zero-tolerance approach. Now, was it Mainoo who was booked instead of Ugarte, who held on to it? We'll get clarity on that in just a moment.
It looked like
Mainoo committed the foul.
Yeah, it was a foul first and foremost, but Mainoo wasn't happy with it. But I think it might well have looked like it was Ugarte who picked up the ball and walked away with it.
First instinct was Ugarte. We'll check that for you. Nelson Semedo down the right, tries a cross again. This time he's charged down by the sliding challenge of Diogo Dalot. Derby 1, West Brom 0, still a latest score in the Championship. Live on TalkSport 2 tonight. And Rangers are behind away at St Mirren in the late kick-off in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic went 12 points clear earlier today with a 4-0 win over Motherwell. Here come Wolves. Lovely dummy by Cunha. He's racing into the area. Cuts it across. Cleared away by Maguire. Aït-Nouri with a low shot. Deflected, and Onana will be grateful that had no fizz and power behind it. After the deflection, the Manchester United goalkeeper has the ball. 9 minutes into the second half. Wolves 0. The 10 men of Manchester United 0.
Yeah, look, it was great play from Cunha, but first of all, it was him who started the press and won the ball back. That ended up being a bad pass and Wolves winning the throw-in. The ball was thrown to him and he kind of just nicked it with his hip and turned the defender completely. Once it's in the box, if you're a United fan, you're having kittens, you really are. And, it's very much all Wolves now, it really is. Psychologically, for United to lose a player is one thing. For them to lose Bruno Fernandes, their captain and arguably their best player, certainly in the first half, massive, massive blow.
Well, we were saying in the first half, weren't we, Scott? It finished 4-3 this fixture last season. It may be 0-0 so far, but it's really entertaining.
You don't always need goals, Joe, do you?
No, you don't. You certainly don't. A confirmation that it was Ugarte who got the yellow card a few moments ago for Manchester United. So another midfield player walking the proverbial tightrope after a second yellow card for Bruno Fernandes, 90 seconds into the second period. And we have an exacting referee who's made it clear that he's going to punish those sorts of challenges. Maybe on another day Bruno Fernandes might have escaped Scott Minto, but Tony Harrington has laid down the law, and by the letter of the law you could argue it was a second yellow card.
No, I think by the letter of the law it was, although I'm sometimes loath to do it because referees don't always go by the letter of the law. But this one was, and again I go back to the fact that I want to see Bruno on the pitch, but it was the lazy tackle, and knowing you're on a yellow card, to be coming from above to below rather than just across. You have to win the ball, and he didn't. He caught the man.
It's a great time of year for football, and it's a great time of year to be listening to Talk Sport. Make sure you download our free app to be across everything. Arsenal against Ipswich tomorrow night. Manchester United in action on the 30th of December, and that is next Monday. Here's Aït-Nouri for Wolves against the 10 men. Back now to João Gomes. We are 3.5 minutes shy of the hour mark here at Molineux. Wolves fans expectant now. Cunha's been blocked off, half blocked off by Kobbie Mainoo. Diogo Dalot with a slightly awkward clearance, but good height and distance on it as far as Totti on the halfway line. Wolves suddenly starting to dominate possession in front of their new head coach, Vitor Pereira. Here is Nelson Semedo, suddenly accelerating down the right-hand side, taking on Dallo. Dallo holds him up. Nelson Semedo backwards now. Matt Doherty with the first-time cross. Fizzes that one into the back post, headed behind by Mazraoui. Asking to be finished, that cross from Doherty. He played it in beautifully. A lot of spin on the ball, tough to defend. Turned behind for a Wolves corner.
I thought Kobe Mainoo got close to him, was able to stop the cross, but he wasn't. And Matt Doherty, I mean, he'll never lose that ability to put a great ball in the box, and that was a great ball.
It's a great ground here, Molineux, and the Sir Jack Hayward stand is on its feet. Wolves fans giving almost hero worship to Cunha as he goes across to take the corner. It'll be right-footed and in-swinging in front of that single-tiered stand, and the old gold shirts are really crowding Onana. Right on the goal line, Manchester United with everybody back. Goalless on TalkSport. Here comes Cunha to dink it into that near post. All the way in! He's done it again! Matheus Cunha scores from a corner, and Wolves have the breakthrough in quite spectacular fashion. Cunha is walking in a winter wonderland. He could do no wrong, and he whipped it over the top. Onana crowded out. He couldn't get there, the goalkeeper. And it's nestled in the back of the net, and the 10-men trail, and it could be a long night this for Manchester United. Cunha with the whip and the bend, right over the top of Onana. Wolves 1, the 10 men of Manchester United 0.
Oh, I tell you what, first of all, what a brilliant corner. There's no doubt about it, he's going for that. But it was also very clever play right on Onana. There's a Wolves player right in front of him, and also another Wolves player right behind him. I think it's Totti. And as the ball goes over Onana, he turns, and therefore he wants to just shuffle his feet to tip the ball over or tip the ball round. But he's ran into Totti. Totti's doing nothing wrong. He's just standing there. It's really clever play, but then you're relying on the ability of Cunha.
And Onana is sarcastically applauding the referee. He ran right up to the halfway line to protest, and as the goal is given, Onana flings his arm sarcastically towards the referee. Then he starts applauding, jogs back to his goal. Well, maybe he should have done better with the corner.
Well, look, there's a few things there. First of all, the quality of the ball that comes in. Secondly, the really good play from Wolves, having someone in front and behind him. But also, where were the United defenders? Even if Onana's taken out the game, who's near the post to head the ball away? It was gone to the far post. People have had time to deal with it, and no one's dealt with it.
We saw a very similar goal in the League Cup that Manchester United conceded when Altay Bayindir was in goal at Tottenham. And really, I don't think there was anything wrong with what Wolves did, and VAR confirms that it is Wolves 1, Manchester United 0. On TalkSport with Sky Sports, don't forget you can stream the biggest Premier League games, available with no contract on now. Search Now Sports. How fitting that Cunha should score the opening goal.
Yeah, and from a corner. It just shows the class of the guy. If someone says Matheus Cunha is going to score the first goal of the game, you wouldn't necessarily be surprised. But if you say from a corner, it's like he's looking at you as if like, no, I don't just want to score. I want to score from a ridiculous position.
He can do no wrong. 10 on the back of his shirt, 10 goals for the season.
Yeah, he's playing like a number 10 as well, isn't he? But it's just really good training ground. You can see that they've worked on that. They've put the people in the right positions. And then you rely on the quality. One, the quality of the ball coming in, as Cunha certainly got that. But two, the opposition defenders not reacting to it.
Casemiro and Eriksen coming on for Manchester United shortly. The 10-men trail at Molineux. Live on TalkSport. No foul on Guedes, edge to the D. It's one back by Doherty. Through for Aït-Nouri. Left edge to the penalty area. Loops in the cross. It's over hit. And that's going to drift away towards the near side, the left, and out of play for a Manchester United throw. Let's get news of the teams at a fog-shrouded Anfield. Liverpool against Leicester to come. Live on TalkSport, your commentator is Mark Wilson.
Cheers, Joe. Liverpool looking to go 7 clear at the top. Arne Slot makes 2 changes. Szoboszlai and Luis Diaz drop to the bench. Curtis Jones and Darwin Nunez come in. For Leicester, 3 changes. A huge one in goal. Danny Ward is dropped. Paul Jakub Solacek comes in for his Premier League debut. Winks replaces Skip, and no Jamie Vardy. Patson Daka leads the line at a foggy Anfield. 8 o'clock start live on TalkSport. It's Liverpool against Leicester.
Thank you, Mark. Liverpool with a chance to go 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. There'll be a triple change for Manchester United because Anthony is going to come on as well. 3 changes on the way. Wolves lead 1-0 and Molineux is bouncing. Electric with noise. Derby 1, West Brom, then it remains in the Championship on TalkSport 2 right now. And St Mirren 1, Rangers 0 is a half-time score in the Scottish Premiership. Andre driving forward, tries to thread it to his left and Guedes, but Manchester United clear. How do they come back from this? Some of their old bad habits have come back in this second half, Scott Minto, Manchester United.
Look, it doesn't help when they go down to 10 men, but still they've been very much on the back foot. And listen, let's give all the credit to Wolves. They've been brilliant, really, from about 15-minute onwards. But certainly, once they went down to 10 men United, Wolves smelt it. They realised they could go on and win this game, but still to concede from a corner, direct from a corner. Oh, you can't be doing that.
So here come the changes, and it's Mainu going off, so too Ugarte, and so too Lenny Euro. So there will be some sort of change in shape here for Manchester United. Casemiro, Eriksson and Anthony coming on, Scott.
Yeah, look, I'm not surprised the two midfielders who I really like both of them. I saw a lot of Manuel Ugarte playing for Sporting, and trust me, he's a top-class player. But like a lot of players coming to United, they can't seem to show their best right now. Not surprised to see he come off. Kobe Mainoo, we know, is an incredible talent, but didn't think he was very good in the last game. He's not been very good here at all. Got to try and change things, just grab control of at least tempo of the game, and then hopefully something can happen. But obviously by bringing on Anthony and taking off Euro, yeah, for sure, there's a definite change in the system. Have to do something, because at the moment they're on the way to losing the game.
And Wolves are on their way out of the Premier League relegation zone. They would move above Leicester by a point, though they would have played a game more. Leicester in action, of course, at Anfield, as you've just been hearing from Mark.
That's the problem, Joe. That's their game in hand. Liverpool away.
Not the best game in hand, is it? What did Adrian say? A Leicester fan messaged him to say it'd be their best result if it was called off tonight. I don't think you can ever say that with certainty in the Premier League. Who knows what can happen? Ruud van Nistelrooy, the former Manchester United striker, back at Anfield this evening, and we'll have the whole game live for you. Really looking forward to listening to that on TalkSport on the drive home. And then the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Manchester United fans, you'll want to have your say. 03717 223344. Bruno Fernandes sent off, and then Wolves score from a corner through Cunha, of course. Strand Larsen's chest down, intercepted by Amma. No handball. He's clipped the ball over halfway, and Højlund has struggled to get into the game. Well marshalled by Totti again. Through to Jose Sarr, and that effort from Diogo Dalot aside. I can't remember a save that Jose Sarr's had to make.
No, nor me. And I talked about a change in system, and at times it is a four with Anthony pushed on, but at times he's pushed back and Mazraoui's come in. So again, if it's four at the back, Mazraoui is that right back, but quite often now it's Mazraoui's the third centre half and Anthony's playing as a right wing back. So a lot of the time it's not a change of system.
Anthony with the gloves on and the lime green boots, infield to Casemiro. He is fouled, and Manchester United have a free kick, the two Brazilians combining to win it. Wolves 1, Manchester United 0. For the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of our Premier League coverage. Right now, Wolves at 1-5 to win. The draw 9-2. Manchester United 20-1 to come back and win. That's all thanks to Betfair, who are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute guarantee. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus, and do visit begambleaware.org as the fog rolls in at Molineux again. But the home fans are by far the happier of the two.
Yeah, when I heard that United, I'm pretty sure they were odds on to start the game, and I'm thinking that's reputation alone. I know Wolves are where they are, but what we've seen in the last game for Wolves and the uplift that clearly they would have had from that against the United side, is Ruben Amorim must be pulling his hair out. Listen, this is one of the top young coaches in world football. He's a good appointment, but it goes to show this is turning around the Titanic.
For the second time in 3 games, they concede direct from a corner. A left-wing corner from a right-footed in-swinging taker. Son for Tottenham in the League Cup on the 19th. And today, Cunha curling the ball over the top of this time a helpless Onana. The changing goalkeeper, but no change in the result.
It's just, I'm trying to get my head around how Ruben Amorim must be thinking. It's like one thing to be coming to a team where you're a little bit under pressure, where really you should be dominating. It's another thing to lose a play and go down to 10 men, but to concede a goal straight from a corner, direct from a corner, I mean, that is just shocking.
Former Chelsea defender Scott Minto with us tonight. Christian Eriksen with a high diagonal free kick for Manchester United. It reaches Ahmad at the back post, the 10 men on the attack. Anthony delivers left-footed, that's a good ball, and the header down by Casemiro is easy for Jose Sarr as we go into the final quarter of the game. And that really is the first save that Jose Sarr in that all mint green kit. That's the first save he's had to make in the second half.
Yeah, and it's a save that you or I actually could have made because it bounced up and he didn't have to move. But at least United got into the final third. At least they got Anthony on the ball. At least they got a cross in, and at least they got a header on target. We need to do that 3 or 4 times, and then obviously hope that the header would be a little bit better. Perhaps they can get further towards the byline from a more dangerous position, but at least they got a shot on target.
Joao Gomez with a clever ball outside of his foot to find Aït-Nouri, who spins away in front of the Steve Bull stand on the far side of the field. That's where the Manchester United fans are. Aït-Nouri finds Joao Gomez, who's played it straight to Ahmad. Ahmad darting up the inside right. He can't get beyond the tall frame of Totti, who's there again to clear it away for Wolves. Where's this newfound defensive solidity come from in the space of a week? And some good football, little neat interplay on the left-hand side. Aït-Nouri gets it back from Joao Gomez. He plays it early. Strand Larsen down the left. Here is Jimenez at the back post. He can't get there before Onana. Poor ball in by Strand Larsen. And Onana with a simple take. A good ball and it would have been 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Martinez did well, actually. He was able to come across and made it difficult for Strand Larsen to put the ball exactly where he wanted, because if he would have done, he would have hit Martinez. So his body position was very good, but if that had been better and 2-0, United are not coming back from that.
Manchester United seeking equaliser, and at the moment, they would definitely take a point. Just over 20 minutes plus added time to go. Down to 10 men after the sending off of Bruno Fernandes. And make trail 1-0. Out on the right for them is Anthony again. Anthony all left foot, shuffles onto the left foot cleverly, and then bends in a low shot. Hits the side netting. Good effort from Anthony, who, yes, it was predictable he was going to cut inside, but he did it with really quick, deft feet, and then rattled in a low shot that did have Jose Sarr concerned.
Well, that's the type of thing that he was bought for. I'm sorry, I don't see him being United player next season, but all he can try and do is make an impact from here on in. And coming off the bench, you want to try and make an impact, and he has twice already. Once he's been able to get half a yard and put a cross in for Casemiro's header, and secondly, did really well coming inside and having a shot. Just unfortunately, it was the wrong side of the side netting, but it has been good from him.
85 million. Anthony, a chance for fee. Jürgen Strand Larsen caught on halfway. Harry Maguire, arms outstretched again towards the referee. It's a Wolves free kick on the halfway line as those two committed players went up for a header. Arms were flailing and Maguire just catching the Wolves number 9. So 1-0 to Wolves with 20 minutes to go. And Molineux wanting to acclaim, as I said earlier on, I think what would be just the second home league win in the Premier League this season. The only to date was the 2-0 victory over Southampton on the 9th of November at a point where Gary O'Neill looked like he might be able to turn things around. Unfortunately wasn't able to do so. But Vitor Pereira set for 2 wins from 2. Derby 2, West Brom 0, latest score in the Championship on TalkSport 2. Caden Jackson has got the second for Derby County, the former Ipswich man. West Brom, who are obviously adjusting to life without Carlos Corberán. He's left over the Christmas period to join Valencia, and so Chris Brunt is leading the team today. Stoke against Leeds is our late game on TalkSport 2. 10 today on the network across the country, live commentaries that we brought you. Anthony for Manchester United. Does he draw the foul from Joao Gomez? He does. Free kick.
Just listening to you say that, 10 games across the day.
What a day.
It's incredible, isn't it, what TalkSport can offer.
And there's more to come. Arsenal against Ipswich tomorrow, and Brighton against Brentford on TalkSport 2. So Eriksen will stand over the free kick for Manchester United. Scott, they've got, how many are on the edge of the penalty area in white shirts? 6 on the edge of the penalty area, including Maguire, Højlund, Casemiro, maybe another target. Lisandro Martinez is there. Wolves have brought everybody back. It's a big ask for Wolves to keep 2 clean sheets in a row. In by Eriksen, right-footed, chested down easily by Cunha. Poor quality delivery from Eriksen. Cunha clears. Aït-Nouri, always dangerous. over the halfway line. It was an obvious pass towards Guedes that allowed Eriksson to turn the ball out of play.
Just put it in behind, put it in the space for Guedes to run onto. Great play again from Matheus Cunha, showing he can play left back again, showing great control and composure, not just knocking it long, but playing it inside to Aït-Nouri. And again, just over the top for Guedes to run onto.
Two Wolves players stripped and ready to go in the old gold. And directly in front of our commentary position, Hee-Chan Wang, and the former Manchester City player, Tommy Doyle, ready to come on as well. With Liverpool against Leicester to come once we're done here at Molineux, so don't go anywhere. 17 and a half to go. 1-0 to Wolves against the 10 men as Casemiro makes a half tackle for Manchester United at the expense of a throw. So what will the changes be? João Gomez on a yellow card, that seems sensible for Vitor Pereira. Here comes Wang on in place of Gonzalo Guedes.
Yeah, interesting. Hasn't been quite the season of Wang like it was last season. I perhaps understand that João Gomez is on a yellow card, but things are going so well for Wolves at the moment. You don't want to make too many changes. It's not easy just to come on the pitch and get up to the pace of the game. At the moment, this 11 of Wolves look in control, but United have to think they're just one bit of brilliance, one mistake, one set piece away from getting something out of this game. All the while it's 1-0, they're still in it. 2-0, sorry, I don't see them coming back.
João Gomez is walking the length of the field, Scott, and he's getting a standing ovation. I'm sure he's enjoying that.
Oh, I would as well.
Doing that half lap of honour.
Even if it's further to walk to the other side and then walk round.
You do it deliberately anyway.
Milk it.
Here is Santi Bueno for Wolves. Square to Doyle has just come on. Back to goalkeeper Jose Sá. There's a great composure about Wolves for a team who've struggled so much so far this season, but the new manager has made an instant impact. The Manchester United win it back, the 10 men. Anthony racing down the inside right, all left foot, blocked off this time by a combination of Doyle and Andre. Then Aït-Nouri tripped by Mazraoui. Free kick to Wolves in the left back position. Actually, Anthony looks Manchester United's most likely route back into it at the moment.
He is. He's their best player right now, even more so than Ahmad. He's got on. He's on that right-hand side. He's kind of dropping in to help out defensively as a right wing back when need to be, but really he's pushed a bit further forward. It kind of is a 4 from United, and if you're going to be 5-3-1 and you're 1-0 down, then you're putting a lot of pressure on a really good counter-attack. So he's pushed on a little bit further forward, and he's definitely looking the most dangerous.
João Gomez has completed his trot round the field, and he gets a big hug from Vitor Pereira as he goes to sit down. Manchester United win a free kick midway inside their own half. 15 minutes to go on TalkSport. They're seeing more of the ball, but no closer to an equaliser. Sending off of Bruno Fernandes, followed by a goal direct from a corner from, yes, Matheus Cunha. As an outfield player, how much criticism, blame do you give to the goalkeeper, Scott, for conceding direct from a corner, even if it is as good as a delivery as that?
Yeah, look, ultimately the 6-yard box is your domain, and so I feel that the goalkeepers, should be owning that. There was very clever play that you can see they've worked on. They had one player right in front of him, one player right behind him, but he's got to find a way to get that defender out the way, whether it's the guy in front of him or behind him. And the fact that Cunha put it inch perfect towards the back post, as he's turned around, he's blocked off and he's nowhere near it. And you feel that United defenders, someone should react to it, but it's in the 6-yard box.
Casemiro's ball over the top, and Totti backpedaling a little clumsily, but manages to nudge the ball clear with his shin in the end. Andre down the middle, straight towards Wang. Wang now, 25 yards out left of centre, not scored this season, onto the right foot, through to Strand Larsen, flag stays down, Onana saves, the flag now is up, as Jørgen Strand Larsen puts in the rebound, but the Wolves fans had long since spotted the flag. There weren't any celebrations. Wolves still lead by a goal to 0. Meanwhile, at 8 o'clock over on TalkSport 2, Leeds will have the chance to go top of the championship with a win at Stoke. Kevin Hatchard has the team news.
Stoke make 3 changes. Ashley Phillips in for Michael Rose in defence. Salt Sidibe replaces Tatsuki Seko in midfield. Lyndon Gooch in for Eric Boca out wide. Leeds unchanged from the team that beat Oxford 4-0.
Thank you, Kev. They were checking that Strand Larsen goal, and after a long time, and no goal, the eventual decision. Still 1-0 to Wolves against Manchester United. Down to 10 men on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whatever the mission, home or away. Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day as Doherty shepherds the ball back to goalkeeper Jose Sarr. He will slice the clearance downfield, steered away by Lisandro Martinez, only as far as Andre. Now Aït-Nouri in advance role again, takes up possession. Cunha almost operating deeper than Aït-Nouri now, who is like an old-fashioned inside forward, Scott.
Well, I don't think he's a left back.
He's certainly
playing
not
as a
now.
left wing back. No, he's one of those that absolutely loves to get forward as much as possible. Certainly enjoys attacking more than defending. If you can protect him round that back, then, and that's something that Totti can, then why not? He's so good going forward.
Alejandro Garnacho and big Joshua Zirkzee to come. The last opportunity for Manchester United to make substitutions. 12 minutes left. Doherty, lovely way to pass up the inside right. Wang is in and he's steered it across the face of goal. Harry Maguire was there to stop it from reaching Strand Larsen, and it's hooked away by Diogo Dalot. Now the ball is with Tommy Doyle. 35 yards out, there's a Wolves man down. Left of centre as we look at it, it's Cunha, and Wolves put the ball out of play, so Cunha can maybe receive some treatment here. We haven't had the physios on just yet, and the game has been stopped. And here come the Manchester United changes. Ahmad goes off to be replaced by Garnacho, whose attitude has been called into question of late. And up front, Zirkzee for Højlund.
Yeah, see, I think Højlund's the better of the two. But he's been so well looked after today that Ruben Amorim has to do something different. I'm not even sure Zirkzee is a proper number 9, to be honest with you. He might be his best position might be one of those 2 10s, but it's another player that perhaps he doesn't necessarily need or is not quite good enough. He's definitely got talent. He's got a great touch. He hasn't really got that pace to go in behind. So it's going to be interesting to see how this 10-man Manchester United, with their furthest man forward who's not lightning quick, and somehow get something out of this game.
And just over 10 minutes to go. Manchester City 1, Everton 1 earlier. Bournemouth 0, Palace 0. Chelsea 1, Fulham 2. Chelsea 4 points off the top. Long ball by Doyle. Lovely ball. Wang takes it in his stride. Nearly. Touch was just slightly heavy. That allowed Dalot to come back across him. Back into a goal side position and thunder the ball clear. Eriksson hits it over the top towards Garnacho. More in hope than expectation. Jose Sarr got a good starting position and was able to clear. Newcastle 3, Aston Villa 0. Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham 0. Southampton 0, West Ham 1. All full-time scores from earlier in the Championship. Sheffield United 0, Burnley 2, but Leeds can go top, as you've been hearing, if they beat Stoke. And later today on TalkSport 2, and Coventry 4-0 winners over Plymouth as the pressure grows on Wayne Rooney in the Championship. Zirkzee for Manchester United, how they could do with Wayne Rooney in his prime in this situation. Manchester United a goal down with 10 men with 10 minutes left at a resurgent Wolves. Nice little top pass by Casemiro square to Mazraoui, and he'll angle the ball to the right, and Anthony to take on Aït-Nouri and Cunha, who was only down momentarily. Anthony tries to squeeze the ball infield. Tommy Doyle makes a good interception at the expense of a throw.
Yeah, he's done well there, because Anthony does look sharp. And we talked about Aït-Nouri, what a good player he is, but he's definitely better going forward than defensively. So
good touch by Eriksson, and a good cross, and Jose Sarr is there to gather one bounce and into his chest inside the 6-yard box in front of Zirkzee.
Yeah, just one moment away, aren't they, United? As much as Wolves have been the better side, and we mustn't forget United are down to 10 men, but still, for half an hour, the final half an hour of the first half, I thought Wolves were the better side. They're just one moment away. Really good play from Eriksson. Wasn't quite able to find Zirkzee, who has come on, by the way, and is running around and looks like he wants to make a real impact for United.
Casemiro touches the ball out wide to Anthony. Infield on his left foot, now Casemiro again. 30 yards out, onto Zirkzee with the curly hair. Wide right is Dalot. Dalot from the corner of the penalty area cuts it back to Casemiro. First time cross, looping header onto the roof of the net. and Jose Sá was backpedaling and may not have got there. Garnacho with the header after a very clever ball in, improvised with the outside of his boot from Casemiro, and it looped over the top.
Oh, Joe, what a chance! What a chance! He's free. It's a great ball in from Casemiro with the outside of his right foot. And he's found himself, it looks like it's a packed box, but actually by the time he's had his header, he's not got any challenge on him at all. And that is your typical winger's header, not used to it. If it was Xerxes or Highland or someone like that, even a Harry Maguire in that position from a set piece, that would have been, I'm telling you now, that would have been a goal.
He didn't score though, and here come Wolves, down the middle towards Wang as he got the wrong side of Dalot. He nearly did via a little deflection, the tangle of legs, sliding in was Dalot, just got enough to nick the ball onto the heels of Wang, and then Manchester United were able to clear. Anthony inside right, Xerxes calling for the ball to the back post. Manchester United 1-0 down, Eriksen's back heel, doesn't find Anthony, Santi Bueno clears. Wolves 1-0 up in the 83rd minute against the 10 men. They've been down to 10 men for nearly the whole of the second half, Manchester United. Rangers with an equaliser away at St Mirren in the Scottish Premiership. Danilo has got that goal with just over an hour gone, but the gap to Celtic would still be 11 points. Celtic, the runaway leaders in Scotland. Eriksen for Manchester United, back to Maguire. Now Lisandro Martinez, left edge of the centre circle, out to the near side, and Dalot right in front of Ruben Amorim. So it will be a tough start for the head coach in the Premier League as it stands. It'll be 1-2, drawn 1 and lost 4 for Ruben Amorim. He knew the size of the task he was facing. Here's an opportunity for Mazraoui, deflected cross, that's going to go behind, and Manchester United have a corner. They are at least threatening to finish the game strongly in their pursuit of an equaliser, Scott Minter.
Yeah, great defending from Wolves there, but I've got to say I've been impressed by the reaction of Manchester United. And look, they're Manchester United, you should be reacting like this, but it's not easy when you've been under pressure. Your manager's been sacked, the new one's coming in, there hasn't been that new manager bounce, you're down to 10 men, you're under pressure, but at least they're trying to do something. Amorim's substitutions are making an impact. Is it enough though?
There were several late goals in this fixture last season, including a 97th minute Manchester United winner. They've got a corner. Eriksen, as they seek an equaliser here this time. Right-footed and out-swinging, looping towards Harry Maguire, headed away. And Wang got something on it, took it over his shoulder and further clear of danger. Wolves suddenly defending deeper and deeper. Everybody in old gold and black behind the ball. There's a nervousness at Molineux now, as Manchester United come forward again. 5.5 minutes plus added time to go on TalkSport. Anthony steers the ball to the right-hand side, and Eriksen through the legs nearly of Cunha, who just about got back in front of him. Cunha then turns away from Eriksen, maybe tiring now a little. He's held the ball up brilliantly in the left-back area, but has conceded a throw. They are going to get Rodrigo Gomez on shortly, Wolves, and I wonder whether Cunha will come off. No, it's going to be Jørgen Strand Larsen to leave the field instead.
Interesting. There's no doubt about it. Vitor Pereira's trying to do the game management, trying to make sure get as many. He wanted that walk round the pitch, didn't he?
He wanted the standing ovation.
He did. He's back on the pitch now, and it's Ain't Nori who's gone off it. I mean, that does make sense. It's kind of like for like.
Yep. He wanted the standing ovation so much he was ready to come off anyway. But no, it's Ain't Nori who's being substituted. Honestly, 4 minutes left.
One job, fourth official, one job.
Absolutely. The board wouldn't even work at one point. Mazraoui crosses, good ball, Xerxes, he's missed it, Casemiro back post, loops it back in. There are plenty going up for it, in the end cleared away by Rodrigo Gomez. Now Mazraoui with a shot, that's charged down. Wolves throwing themselves in the way, leading by a goal to nil against the 10 men. Tommy Doyle clears, straight back to Manchester United, who are playing from right to left. It's going to be a thrilling finish on TalkSport. And there's still plenty of football to come on Boxing Day. Liverpool against Leicester, now just over 45 minutes away, and it's live and exclusive with us. Liverpool aiming to go 7 points clear. Leicester are in the Premier League relegation zone at the moment. Wolves have leapfrogged them as it stands, but they need a win to get out of the bottom three. A draw would not do that for Wolves. They're away to Tottenham next. That should be interesting. Live on TalkSport 2 on the 29th of December. Here comes Garnacho. Infield for Manchester United. It's attack v defence now, really. The 10 men dominating territory. Lisandro Martinez with a high cross. Here comes Jose Sarr. Takes it well. And he was caught by Maguire. Has Jose Sarr regained the number 1 spot at Wolves, maybe?
Well, maybe. Maybe. They can keep 2 clean sheets. And I understand what Lisandro Martinez is trying to do. He's trying to get the ball in the box, but he's so far out, the ball has to be almost inch perfect, or you almost drop it short on the edge of the box. The last thing you want to do is put a high ball in for the opposition keeper to come, claim, win a free kick, and kill a bit more time. You're right, it's attack v defence. It's the attack of 10 men against the defence of 11. So hard to break down. So if you are going to stick the ball in the box, you can't just put it in 50 yards and coming down with snow on.
Some Wolves fans are heading for the exits. I can never believe that. Leaving early before a game when so much could still happen. 2 minutes plus added time to go. Wolves 1, Manchester United down to 10 men nil. Derby 2, West Brom 1. Goal back for West Brom. Live on TalkSport 2. Grady Diangana has got the goal, but West Brom, the playoff chasers, look to be heading for defeat, as do Manchester United here. 90 seconds of normal time to play. Over the top from Mazraoui, Rodrigo Gomez with an unconvincing touch on the stretch, likewise Totti, and then the former belts the ball clear downfield, the young Portuguese Rodrigo Gomez. It's with Mazraoui for Manchester United. Anthony's blocked off this time. Wolves have won it back. Cunha just shy of halfway. Quick ball to his left. Rodrigo Gomez is in possession. He's racing down the left-hand side. Two in the middle. Strand Larsen is there. And he's gone for it, but Martinez is there to clear away the cutback. Rattled in towards the near post by Rodrigo Gomez, but Lisandro Martinez in the right place at the right time. On a day where we've seen lots of drama in the Premier League. Around the grounds, around the country on the TalkSport network. Least of all, Fulham's late comeback win at Chelsea. Their first win at Stamford Bridge since '79. Manchester United are going to need some late drama here. Dallow's ball over the top, they're 1-0 down. Garnacho left-hand side, taking on Doherty, who trips it. Free kick, very dangerous position. 30 seconds of normal time to go. Here comes Jean-Ric Nebedegaard and Craig Dawson for Wolves. It's a yellow card for Doherty.
Yeah, they might want to get him on as soon as possible. Certainly Craig Dawson on a defensive set piece. Normally that's the last thing you want to do, but I think that's a tired tackle from Matt Doherty. Or he certainly didn't want to allow Garnacho to get the ball and run at him and get inside the box. But it's a great opportunity for United.
You get the sense there could be one chance in this for Manchester United here.
I'd get Dawson on as quickly as possible.
8 added minutes.
Minimum of 8 minutes.
8 added minutes at the end of the game.
Wow.
Disbelief at Molineux. Disbelief and consternation. There'll be more of that if Manchester United score here. Eriksson whips in the free kick all the way to the back post, and the header's over the top. It's a corner.
It's a great ball in, isn't it? He's whipped it in, sort of inside left. If no one touches it, it's going in. And there's a flick on, and the Wolves defender clearly got a touch on it, but so difficult to defend against and almost impossible for a goalkeeper.
You can see a Manchester United flag just behind Christian Eriksen, who's taking the corner with his team 1-0 down. Here it is, looping high right-footed. Harry Maguire went for it. It's cleared away. Rodrigo Gomez on the break. Wolves are 1-0 up. Chasing is Cunha. 40 seconds through 8 added at the end of the game on TalkSport. And Cunha has won a throw. Midway inside the Manchester United half. Just how good is Matheus Cunha? He looks like being the match winner for Wolves today. And here comes that double change. Now it is Strand Larsen who's going off. He's actually sitting down in the centre circle. Craig Dawson coming on.
Strand Larsen is number 15.
And the other change, Bellegarde on in place of the captain, Nelson Semedo.
And also for Wolves, replacing number 22.
Well, again, it's probably just a little bit of trying to kill time, but certainly with Craig Dawson coming on, you know, he'll be looking to try and marshal that defence and make sure they don't concede at all. What about Matheus Cunha there? The way he just never gave up there, ran the ball, and it was horrible for Mazraoui. Been in that position where you're losing, you don't want to just make a tackle. You know you can make a tackle and get the ball as well. If it's first minute of a game, it's exactly what you want. He doesn't want to, and Cunha never gave up and has won the ball back. And now, what Wolves haven't done that well, and to be fair to United, down to 10 men, they have done well, is they haven't used their extra man. It looks like United have their extra man. What Wolves need to do is just get hold of the ball now, make 3, 4, 5 passes, run United players around, stretch them. They haven't done that.
They've got to see out at least 6 more minutes of added time as the fog grows a bit thicker again at Molineux. Wolves lead by a goal to 0. Bellegarde controls midway inside the Manchester United half, robbed the possession. Eriksson scoops the ball over halfway. Anthony not happy with Eriksson and says he went too early. It was easy for Dawson to shepherd it back to Jose Sarr. Dawson's first touch. 2.5 minutes through the 8 added. Manchester United have been down to 10 men since the 47th minute. Bruno Fernandes was sent off. Matheus Cunha direct from a corner to give Wolves the lead thereafter, and they've got another free kick. Andre fouled inside the centre circle. What an upturn. What a Christmas this is turning into for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just massive. That game against Leicester was massive. But I said to Adrian at half-time, I said the next 45 minutes are crucial for Leicester as well as Wolves. If Wolves can find a way to win this, you know, Leicester's game coming up shortly now at Anfield, just them being out the dotted line and Leicester in it, it's absolutely massive.
And that'll be followed by the Sports Bar on Talk Sport. 03717 223344. Totti clears downfield, straight to Harry Maguire. Quite a scrappy last few minutes. And more of that to come, you feel. 93.5 played of 8 added. Chasing is Anthony down the right-hand side. Totti hooks it clear. So just over half of the 8 added minutes to come. And maybe more than that because of the brief stoppage. Manchester United all in white, playing from right to left. Here is Anthony on the far side of the field. A low ball in is a poor one. Left-footed, nothing behind it. Scooped up into the air by Rodrigo Gomez. Wang will chase it. Maguire wrestles him away from the ball. No handball against Harry Maguire. The Wolves fans are furious. Manchester United go long. Doherty heads away in front of Diogo Dalot. Left wing position. Throw to Manchester United. Halfway through the 8 added. Ruben Amorim just wants Dalot to slow the game down because he's going to send Harry Maguire forward for what will be one of these Dalot long throws. And Maguire has gone to the near post. You're with Talk Sport. Straight to Anfield once we're done here. Long throw from Diogo Dalot, high towards the corner of the penalty area, headed away by Totti. Drops down to Garnacho, onto his left foot. He's got Dalot in support. He's faced up by 2 in Old Gold and Tommy Doyle. Already a couple of important tackles, makes another one. It's a Manchester United throw again.
Take your time, go long again. He hasn't.
Short to Garnacho, dead ball line, left-footed cross in towards Xerxes. Great header away by Totti. Now a shot on the edge of the area. Anthony back to goal, back to Mazraoui. Attack for defence. Wolves very deep. In comes the cross, deep to the back post. Maguire with the header, gathered by Jose Sarr. Difficult header for Harry Maguire. 3 minutes left. Wolves have that 1-0 advantage.
Oh, it wasn't, and there were 2 people free at the far post. Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez. In fact, there was even a third with Dalot coming on as well. And we know how good a header the ball he is, but he's standing still. He gets it on target, but it's fallen straight to Jose Sarr. And it looks like it's not going to happen. Can they somehow adjust? Pretty much seconds remaining. Well, certainly 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah.
Maybe would have been added, maybe, Scott, because of
it's a minimum of 8, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Cunha fouled, draws the foul from Dalot. Signalled by the assistant referee. Television cameras pitch side ready to capture the reaction of Vitor Pereira. He says his job is to give the Wolves players confidence, and he said a tactical GPS. They've certainly been very well adjusted tactically again today, haven't they?
Yeah, I thought I might needed that GPS on the way up here as well. When I was
you had it. It was touch and go, wasn't it?
Well, no, it wasn't touch and go, but
we got there.
Just getting past the Dartford Tunnel was bad enough.
Always great to have the company of Scott Minto here on Talk Sport. Just over 90 seconds of added time remain. Wolves won, the 10 men of Manchester United 0. Cunha down by the dead ball line, and he's got a throw out of it again, has he yet? Lisandro Martinez. The Wolves fans are cheering every kick now. Every time the ball goes out to play. They're packed around us here in the main stand, and plenty are on their feet, particularly behind the goal. The Wolves revival set to continue here. Doherty, as Manchester United face another defeat. Manchester United stay in lower mid-table, 14th position in the Premier League on Boxing Day. Manchester United, unheard of. Doherty plays it back to Tommy Doyle. Doyle blocked off by Casemiro, but it's another Wolves throw. Now they're doing what you wanted, Scott Minto.
Yes, this is really what they should have been doing 20 minutes ago, and fair play to United for not allowing them to do it. But when Wolves have had the ball, still they've been going for that quick counter, and it's either you do it or you don't within a space of a few seconds, instead of just keeping the ball and for as long as possible. 3, 4, 5 passes. This has been much better now in the last couple of minutes.
I have to credit the Manchester United fans who are singing defiantly, travelling great numbers with great vocal support. The Manchester United fans deserve better than this. But it's going to be another defeat, it looks like. 30 seconds to go. Wolves lead 1-0. Thundered downfield by Maguire, desperate. Headed away by Dawson. Xerxes didn't even jump for it. Now here's Garnacho. Left wing position. Scampers in field. He checks away from Doyle, who does brilliantly. Doyle, he clears upfield. 2 against the goalkeeper. Cunha down the middle. Wang to the left. Wang to steer it home. He does! Wolves make Manchester United pay. And the revival continues. Cunha, who scored one, has set up the other. Vitor Pereira leads the celebration. Wang will not score an easier goal, and the problems mount for desperate Manchester United. What an unhappy Christmas for Ruben Amorim. And the Manchester United players are left standing with their hands on their hips, some crouching down, wondering how it's happened. A breakaway goal, nobody was back. Cunha down the middle, he had all the time in the world to tee up Wang, who finished emphatically. And Wolves have made a perfect start under Pereira. It is Wolves 2, the 10 men of Manchester United 0, and that wraps it up well and truly.
It's been an absolute dream start for Vitor Pereira. He couldn't have believed that this would happen. A 3-0 away win against your relegation rivals, and then you beat Manchester United 2-0. Matheus Cunha, brilliant there. Actually felt he could have got himself. Onana wasn't coming out at all, and he still, Hwang had Onana to beat, but a great finish. And as much as United gave it their all in the last 20 minutes, it wasn't enough. Got to say, obviously the Bruno Fernandes sending off, crucial. But Wolves were the better side even when it was 11v11 in the first half.
Listen to that Molyneux roar! 2 wins in 2 for Vitor Pereira at Wolves, and another desperate and damaging defeat for Manchester United. The scale of the rebuilding task for Ruben Amorim spelled out so clearly yet again. 4 defeats in 7 in the Premier League now for the new Manchester United head coach. Their problems are mounting. No Rashford in the squad. Bruno Fernandes sent off. Beaten on Boxing Day. Manchester United fans deserve much better than this. But for Wolverhampton Wanderers, what a fine victory to back up the win over Leicester City last time out. And a week makes such a great difference in football. And the difference between Wolves of the previous era and of the new era, well, the gap isn't just a big one, it's an almighty chasm. Back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets. What a way to do it as well. After Bruno Fernandes was sent off early in the second half, Cunha scored the first direct from the corner, and then 2 against the goalkeeper at the very end. Cunha teed up Hee-Chan Wang, and this stadium is rocking to the sound of a Wolves victory. Just a second home Premier League win of the season for them. Manchester United left languishing in lower mid-table. Wolves 2, the 10 men of Manchester United 0.
Wow, just wow. We'll get Scott Minto's views in just a second. Quick update on fog watch here at Anfield. The teams are warming up. Game is going to be on. It is misty here, but the game is going to be on. But Wolves 2, Manchester United 0. Scott Minto I mean, where do we start with that? Manchester United lost 3 of the last 4 in the Premier League, 14th in the table. If Liverpool win against Leicester here, as expected, United are 20 points behind the leaders by the end of Boxing Day. Completely unacceptable from Manchester United.
No, it is, Aidan. Joe's absolutely right. Rocking here, it was rocking all over the world as status quo. The PA system really does create a great atmosphere here.
Is that the man of the match?
Yeah, almost. I think we know who that's going to be. Look, you're right. Okay, let's talk United first. I think it's unfair at this moment in time to compare themselves to Liverpool, but they can certainly compare themselves to the teams that, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th. How are Nottingham Forest in 3rd and United where they are? How are Newcastle in 5th and United where they are? How are Bournemouth in 6th and United where they are? I mean, Ruben Amorim has come in now, and I mean, he only made 2 changes, so I think he's realising, look, I need to try and somehow find a settled side. But how do you find a settled side when you're being outplayed by Wolves, who were down there? Now, don't get me wrong, the Bruno Fernandes sending off was massive, just at the start of the second half, and he was arguably United's best player in the first. But after those first initial 15 minutes, Wolves took a little bit more control, and for me were the better side by half-time, 11 v 11. My goodness me, what a job he's got in his hands here, Aid. He really has, Ruben Amorim.
You know what, when we were discussing on kick-off on Monday night, which players at Manchester United should stay and who needs to go, everybody was agreed Bruno Fernandes is quite possibly, at this moment in time, the most crucial player. And yet this happens, and I know he played well first half, but he is not a proper captain. It's a silly foul on the edge of the Wolves box at the start of the second half, and I think everybody's agreed it's a second yellow. He's got to go. What is the Man United captain doing that for? Why isn't he thinking, I just need to not make a challenge here, I need to stay on the pitch? They deserve better, the United fans. They deserve better from their captain.
Do you know what? You're not wrong to a point. I do think that was one of those where it's a little bit of a lazy one, but you can't afford to be lazy in that. You're right, in the position that it was, you know, I spoke about it as well, and he's gone from high to low rather than coming across, which makes it look worse. You can't be making that type of tackle, but for me, he's still one of United's best players right now. Whether you say he's a captain or not, you tell me who's a captain in this United side.
Well, there aren't many. You'd probably say Maguire, but is he going to be there much longer? It's a whole big overhaul that's needed, and they're jokingly calling him Ruben Interim. He's got to get results in the middle of that overhaul. But let's talk about Wolves, and we'll discuss the first goal in just a moment when we do man of the match. I think we all understand why that's going to happen. But let's talk about the second goal, because Lisandro Martinez, I mean, I don't think he realises that you can't be offside in your own half. So the Wolves players are in their own half when the ball is played, so they're running through. And I know it's late in the game and United are pushing for an equaliser, but it's a ridiculous goal to give away, isn't it?
No, look, you at least go man for man. I don't know how Wolves found themselves 2-on-1. I mean, I don't know, but you know, in one sense, you literally are seconds away. It's almost the very last kick of the game. It was in the 98th minute and 8 minutes were put up. You might as well lose 2-0 as 1-0, but it's just a symptom of where United are at the moment. By the way, I think it's really unfair to say that about Ruben Amorim. I think clearly we know that the job, the good top-class managers with great reputations have come and gone over the last decade and still not found the way. This guy needs time. And he needs his hierarchy to understand, listen, what do you want here, Ruben? And I'm hearing there are PSR problems with United. It's not as if they can just say, right, we'll cancel all these contracts and we'll bring loads of people in. And I also do think, and look, me and you will probably have a big discussion. We haven't got time for it now. How many players should be at United next season? What are we looking for United? To actually win the title or just try and get top 4? For me, it's top 4. And actually, I think there's a lot of talent there. And if you can get inside their heads and get the technique and the system right after a pre-season with a few other players, some gone, some come in, I believe Ruben Amorim is someone who is not just a really good coach and tactically, but I think he's a really good man manager. What I know of him, I've spoken to people in Portugal, a lot of people, and they say he's brilliant as a man manager and getting the best out of players. And that should be exactly what the hierarchy want to hear. Yes, we need to change players, but you also need to get the best out of these players, Ruben. And they're a million miles from it at the moment. But at this moment in time, he's learning about them. And I wouldn't be surprised if some go and some come in January. But it's very difficult to do it.
Well, Manchester United, since Fergie left, have a reputation for ruining managers. Let's see what they do with Ruben Amorim. Time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Well, Scott Minto, I think we know who it's going to be, so just say the name.
Mateus Cunha.
OK, and let's talk about his goal straight from a corner and whether Andre Onana had a point when he went chasing after the referee to applaud him sarcastically. On the line, Doherty is in front of Onana. Santi Bueno is behind Onana as the ball is floated in by Cunha from the corner. Now, what happens is Onana pushes Doherty in front of him to make some space. He then needs to backpedal to get hold of the cross, get something on the corner. But as he's backpedaling, Ugarte shoves Santi Bueno right behind Onana. So it's actually Ugarte who's at fault here. He's directly behind Onana, meaning Onana cannot reach the ball and it sails into the net. The keeper hasn't got a case here, has he?
No, you summed it up perfectly. You know, he's got someone in front of him. I don't have a problem with a little push on someone to get out my way. But as he's turned, Brenner's been pushed into behind him, so he's turned around and he's got nowhere to go. It's just a symptom of where United are, and it's just unbelievable how they concede a goal straight from a corner. You still have to have incredible precision from Cunha, and I still feel that a United player at the far post should somehow react to it and try and get goal side. That's what I would try and do. Sometimes you always have to leave your man to a point. He's only going to be half a yard away to make sure this ball, as it's curling in, doesn't go straight in. Again, especially if you can see someone is behind the Nana. There's no reaction at all. There's no one taking control of the situations. And again, we talk about leaders or captains. For me, you don't always have to be a captain to be a leader, but you take control of certain situations within a second or two. And Nana didn't do it, and no one for United did at all. Just typical United right now, but it was brilliant from Cunha.
A couple of very quick ones. Mateus Cunha is 25. We've seen flashes last season. This season we're seeing some consistency in a poor side as well, or a side that's been poor up to this point in the season. He is going to be at a Champions League club probably next season, isn't he?
He won't be at Wolves next season. He's a Champions League player. The question for now for Wolves and the hierarchy is whatever comes in, you make sure you keep him until the end of the season and make sure Wolves stay up.
You were a defender. Do you not feel a little bit guilty about not giving it to a defender after 2 clean sheets for Wolves?
No.
You're out of order. If it was a defender, who would it be?
Do you know what? You can take your pick. I thought Totti was good. Brenner was very, very good. And I really like Matt Doherty showing his versatility. And that's where, again, you talk about, well, choose one. I think as a unit, they've been brilliant. And I don't have a problem with that being a defender. I felt part of a unit. And actually then the brilliance of your attacking players go and win the game. So, look, I didn't win many man of the matches back in the day, but I like to think I played a part in some decent clean sheets.
You did. Scott Minto, thanks very much. That was our man of the match, Mateus Cunha, from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Wolves in 2-0. Over on TalkSport 2 finished Derby 2, managerless West Brom 1. At 8 p.m. they've got Stoke versus Leeds on TalkSport 2, while here on TalkSport it is Liverpool against Leicester. Build up to that coming next with Troy Deeney. Molyneux, what a match we heard on TalkSport. 2-0 win for Wolves takes them out of the bottom 3 and keeps Manchester United in the bottom half. Vitor Pereira in dreamland, but what a job Ruben Amorim has on his hands.
Doesn't this suddenly look like a very tricky game for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United? Now Guedes, 25 yards out, right into the penalty area, lovely reverse ball to Doherty, and Onana hangs on at the near post.
You wouldn't believe this is the Wolves side that's just got rid of the manager.
And Nelson Semedo is tripped by Bruno Fernandes, and the Manchester United captain is dismissed less than 90 seconds into the second half. Comes Cunha to dink it into that near post, all the way in! He's done it again! Mateus Cunha!
Where were the United defenders? Even if Onana's taken out the game, who's near the post?
Cunha down the middle, Wang to the left, Wang to steer it home! He does! Wolves make Manchester United pay, and the revival continues. It is Wolves 2, the 10 men of Manchester United 0.
game day exclusive on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
The Screwfix sale is now on and it's huge! Save a huge £30 on the DeWalt 18-volt inflator cordless, now just $19.99. And grab the aluminium 6-step platform ladder for only $59.99, saving you a huge 10%. Sale ends 5th of January. It's huge. Delivery fees may apply, subject to availability. See screwfix.com for full T's and C's.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels, 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
$1.39 at McDonald's gets you a delicious cheeseburger. $1.39 at a concert gets you... Testing. McDonald's Saver Menu. Actually get your money's worth. From 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Price varies on delivery, subject to availability.
Hey, is your Aunt June still coming to Christmas dinner?
Yep, and her new boyfriend.
I'll get the extra chair.
And his daughter.
Oh, and some plates.
Plus her boyfriend.
Ah.
And his two mates, their girlfriends, their neighbours, their second cousins, twin sisters, the mailman, Glenn from down the road, his primary school teacher, my personal trainer, his dog, his accountant Bill, and that lady I met on the bus.
We're going to need to go to IKEA.
From extra plates to bedding and everything in between.